What's up? What's up? What's up? What's it's a storm where I am, so just let me know. Hit that like button. Hit that like button as you guys come. Like, it's a storm over here, so if it's choppy, just let me know. We're gonna try to rock on. This is gonna be an open panel. I see a lot of you guys disagreed with the advice that I given to my brother, and I want to hear your thoughts. I want you guys to hear some of mine, so I can clarify some of what I meant as well. And we're gonna go from there. We're gonna go from there. Upper, yeah, she's fired up. What's up with it, Upper? Now you welcome too. So I am gonna play 2K's review of my advice. So let's see here. Let me you guys real quick. One. Peace, Chatty. What's up with it? Girl one says, Kevin, I agree with the advice. Appreciate that. Peace, Robin Locks. Thank you so much, Queen Lacey. Thank you so much. She laughing the upper hangover, upper comment at. Yeah. You know too. Listen, this is the thing you got to understand, man. When someone, you can tell when this is not communication, right? Peace to you, D-Han. Welcome in, welcome in. Rosalind, what's up with you, Ronaldo? You can tell when it's not a concept. You can tell when someone is fighting. Real fight. Somebody might hit you in the head. They might headbutt you. They might elbow you. They might kick you in the balls. They might punch you in the stomach. Why you hit me in the face? Got to do with the other. Why did you knee me and headbutt me? Right? Because it's a fight. So what I'm learning is when you hear people talk like the way she does, it's because you're wondering why she all over the place. Nothing to do with nothing. It's just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get involved in that because what it's gonna look like is, you know, on the cartoon, and it's like a cloud of dust, and all you see is fists and stuff coming out. Everybody gonna be confused about what's happening. And they really just gonna see your fist because you are. We live in a world where they can say and do what they wanna, and nobody even checks them on it. They was already telling me you wrong for calling her pathetic. I was like, oh, am I? Okay. But we're gonna talk about this, man. Shouldn't be breaking up. Let me know now. Let me play 2K's. What's the name? I love 2K's channel. I saw him a couple weeks ago, and I've been watching. Stop seeing him, like, okay, cool. So anyway, I've been watching. Hey man, he funny as all get out. So anyway, he had reviewed my video today. So I'm gonna play his review real quick, and then we're gonna talk about. All right? We're gonna talk about why I'm giving this advice. All right, what we got to do here. I'm going to invite you guys up after this.
All right.
Guys, we're going to try. We're going to try. If it breaks up too bad, we have to do it again. But we're going to try. Let's go.
Let's keep it moving. Now, let's move this out the way. Let's move this out the way. Let's get to the good stuff. All right. If you don't know latruth, you probably know him without knowing him. All right. Because I never really knew who latruth was until recently. But I had always seen this guy on the internet. You know, he's the dude. He had a couple wives. Oh, shit. That's cool. And so I meet a couple more people online down the line who was like, I ain't gonna say hating on bro, but definitely was kind of like showed a lot of jealousy towards dude. And this guy right here name is Kevin Wesley. So I'm gonna put him up on the screen. Oh, not right there. So boom, he on the screen, and I'm like, somebody sent me this. I'm like, what's this about? So they were like, 2K, he talking about it more. I was like, here we go. So let's go and roll the clip and let's see what he was talking about. All right.
Check this out, everybody. This is the lady who framed my brother for abuse, okay? Now, she says she did that because she was too invested. I think she's still too invested.
Now, we're going to stop it right there. Because when he said that he thinks she still too invested, I had to go take a look myself. So, within a 2-month span, I did the work myself. 2-month span. 2 months. 2 months. I promise y'all. This woman, 2 months, keep in mind, 2 months is 60 days. 60. This guy here, excuse me. This chocolate Cheeto chip has made 96 videos about Bree and Robert. 96. 1916. Keep on. If you make a video a day, she still done beat that by over a month and a couple days. So I'm like, because remember, she was like, the reason why I lied for Bree and tried to frame Robert because I was too invested, I had to take a step back. If 96 videos ain't you being invested, what does invested really look like? Like, honestly, I went and counted, y'all. You know me, I'm kind of slow. So I might have miscounted some. It'd probably be way more than 96. But I promise y'all, in a 2-month span, I started from 2 months because I was going to do 3, but I was like, no, it's getting a little carried away. And this was her doing a lot of scrubbing. Y'all, I promise, it was 96 videos. 96 videos about Bree and Robert Hampton. So let's let this man finish his statement, bro. Let's see what he got to say.
The other day, I gave an opinion on someone's platform, Vibing with Sean on YouTube. Check her out. I gave an opinion on there. And I want you guys to see the lengths that this lady will go to try and discourage me from talking, okay? Very controlling, very abusive. Obviously, she doesn't want me talking, but I want you to see all the things that she does. Just listen.
You know, Kevin still want to keep his little stuff, his pants stuffing ass in the biz way. Okay. I don't even know what live this was because they just showed me the comment and didn't show me where it was. I don't know if it's Robert live he just did or what, but Kevin says hosting Miss Season in the pool with Amora, hosting her walking the baby over are both things that he posted that could cause Bree to respond negatively. Then he says, either way, punishing him by alienating him from his child is absolutely wrong. Okay, Kevin, stop stuffing your pants and keep your big nose out of it, okay? Mind them 2 women that you screwing over there, all right? Oh, shit! Take your baby to the hospital and mind him, okay? Leave your stuffing ass out of the biz way, okay? All right? You know, your pants.
Hold on. Telling a nigga to mind his business when it's about his family and you just an obsessed outsider with a YouTube button is insane.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
His brother is his business. You not related to nobody. You in their business. Then you over here disrespecting the man wives, him, cursing them out. Ain't that the same, what y'all call that, verbal abuse? That man didn't talk bad about you. That man ain't say nothing bad about you. He ain't curse you out one time.
Well,
I see what's going on here. Let's keep it rolling.
one time.
On the camera, okay? All right? Stop putting filters on your baby face, which is sick. Who does that? Who does that, right? Mind your business, Kevin, all right? And stay out of your brother and his baby mama business, period. All right? Go do what Toya doing. Toya is minding her business because she already got charges all up in her brother's business anyway, right? So you get out of it before you lose one of them wives over there, all right? Girlfriends, whatever. You know, the woman that you cheated on your wife with. Now, period.
Man, first of all, don't speak on bruh marriage. If he got two women that's under the same program and they cool with it, you shouldn't have a problem with it. What you should have a problem with is that you on your third marriage, all right? That means you got two failed marriages. You got two failed marriages. He got two successful marriages at one time. You couldn't even keep your man one by one.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
So stop trying to ridicule this man because he's able to do something successful that you done tried and you on your third time. And I can't see that man going to the grave with you. I see your face starting to sag a little bit. You better get it together.
All right. Now, somebody just said that to me, said that basically he's trying to say that the reason why Brianna's doing what she's doing because he's trying to say she's jealous because Valencia posted Momo. All right? I don't believe that she's jealous at all. I do not. Okay? She even said one time when I used to talk to her that she didn't mind the witch being in the picture because she felt like the witch would take better care of her child than the narc. Okay? Now, Kevin, stop stuffing your pants. Put it in your mouth. Okay? Now, I'm out, y'all. I love y'all. Hit that thumbs up button and I'll be back. All right? Talk to y'all later. Bye.
All right. Now, before Kevin get his very, very, very mature breakdown on Brianna and Robert's situation, and to me, it was completely unbiased, and I know a little bit about being unbiased. I just want to point this out right here, okay? Now, you were talking about the filter that they be using, right? You got a whole filter where you dress up as a whole white woman. Here you go. Right here.
For listening to me. Now, why would you do such a...
Now, you done bleached your skin for the video, then put on a little wig and change your accent. You out here acting like a whole white woman, but okay, whatever. Let me tell y'all about her page, all right? And once again, if you're a fan of her, I want you to see what's going on. This woman here wants to drag you in her misery, bro. Every video, okay? This is the Lifetime network for YouTube. Every video is about a man doing something wrong to a woman and you should leave. She wants you to be in and out of 3 marriages like her. Y'all, this is a unsuccessful woman, bro. And I'm not talking about unsuccessful in a career. Unsuccessful in maintaining love. It is hard to love her after a while. We got 2 husbands that can prove that. We got a whole track record of boyfriends that can prove that. She don't want you to be happy because she on her 3rd husband. Keep in mind, that one the husband she with now was never her first choice. Trust me. She got that nigga on the decline. So she not with the person who she want to be with. So I'm telling y'all, don't be listening to this woman here. All she want to do is prey on your on the history of some wrongdoing that every guy do to a woman, and it's the other way around. Stop letting this woman speak to your soul, bro, because you gonna be single out here. You gonna be on your set. Now, a nigga ain't gonna marry you twice. Okay? Don't fall for it. I'm trying to tell y'all, stop falling for it. Don't fall for it, or you gonna be like her. You're gonna be like her.
So all of that to try and stop me from talking. My answer is no. You have no control over me or anything that I say or do. The only things you can control is the things that you do or say. And we see you have very little control over that.
2K in the building, y'all. Shout out to 2K. I'm reviewing your I'm reacting to your reaction of my reaction. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep the party going though. Let's go.
Right? Why you care what I say eludes me. Maybe my words hurt. Maybe you've done this in your past and I'm striking a nerve. But I don't know if you realize this, but as much as you think this isn't my business, it's even more so not your business. It's not your business what I comment, but you're worried about it. And you go as far as to say insulting things, degrading things in order to make me stop. But you go around trying to call out abusers. You're pathetic. I'm not going to stoop to your level. If I did, though, if I cussed you out, everybody would then try to govern what I say. Tell me what I should have said, what I should have said, right? You call.
That's another thing, y'all. I'm tired of this, bro. Listen, women, please. This just ain't black women. This go for all women. Stop throwing your rock over here and hitting a dude in the head, and then when he throw it back, say you hit a woman. This ain't 1960 no more. All right, stop talking bad about a dude. Then when he say something back, oh, you will talk to a woman like that. We equals now. We are equals. Stop all that. Oh, you sassy because you talking to a woman like that. Sassy and jazzy, baby. Sassy and jazz. Come on, man. Stop doing it. Stop doing it.
All the black woman this and that and the other, right? So I keep telling you guys, don't, when fighting the enemy, when fighting the devil, don't fight him in his territory. Don't go to hell with him, right? I'm sure you've heard the saying, don't stoop to an idiot's level because they'll beat you at their own game, right? So I refuse to go to a word war with this lady. But she's not going to stop me from giving an opinion either, you know. So about that opinion, okay? If I were counseling both of them, what I would have to say would be very unfair. Even when I type the comment in, people say, but that's unfair. When you're co-parenting family, you have to consider the other person's ability to deal with seeing you with another person. Not necessarily seeing you with another person, you can move on, but introducing that person or acquainting that person with the child.
Right there. Y'all, this is unbiased media. This is exactly why I say something like this if I ain't want to be petty. Them ain't hitting it right on the head, bro. Like one of the leading factors of me always putting my family first and stuff, because I look at my family and say, am I ready to see Sarah on the arm of another nigga? Do I want to see another nigga throwing my kids up in the air playing football with them? These are real life accounts that you have to go through before you ready to just throw some away. And I don't think I'm ever be ready for that. So I'm gonna forever try to figure it out. He's speaking facts. And then he for the ridicule Robert too.
People may not be ready for that. So even though she posted her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend or whoever he is to her now with my brother's daughter, even though she did a lot of provoking things, I would still advise my brother not to post his daughter interacting with his new lady. Not that they shouldn't spend this type of time, but that they shouldn't post it.
Agreed. It's that easy. But Robert is being petty because he see Jadea posting her when she out of town and all these places. He see, so Robert, he want to let folks know that, hey, I'm kind of a better dad too. And it's just, you don't got to do that for the internet, bro. Like, we ain't going to question your fatherhood because another nigga posting your child, although they shouldn't be posting it either. But he right. Kevin right. You just don't get back like that.
When someone has sole custody of your child, you really kind of have to try and navigate that. You know, as much as explosive as provoking as the video was when she was playing around with, you know, my brother's daughter, acting like he was outside and all this kind of stuff with old dude, that's obviously provoking. But I just can imagine if I were her seeing the video with her swimming, with his daughter swimming with his new lady, even though it's a beautiful picture to most of us, I can see her looking at that and feeling very provoked, right?
Exactly. So he also saying, think about how Bree feel. You know what I'm saying? In the lick back, if Bree did it to you to make you hurt, and then you do it to her to make her hurt, then you already know how she gonna take it and how she and what she gonna go with it. And somebody come in at this right here. Let me put this up. I disagree with him. Robert Hasper has every right to post. Absolutely, Ms. Williams. He got every right to post. But if he truly trying to make life a little easier for himself and to be able to obtain and get his child without all these distractions, then you will refrain from posting so much just so you can have your child. Although it may look like she's, you know, you getting small victories in the media. So I get the pettiness, Robert, but you just gonna have to sacrifice something in order for you to be around your daughter whenever you want to without the bull.
It is her daughter. And if I were in her shoes, I wouldn't like it. It's not about a jealousy of my brother. It's just your children are your children. You don't want to see them with nobody else, you know? She's never had to see this on the other side. So when her children went to go see their daddy, I don't think they were posting with the woman online. I don't think I've seen anything like that. So that would be the most difficult thing for me, co-parenting, is seeing some other man with my baby. You know, that would be difficult for me. I would be upset. I wouldn't like it. And who knows, if I were in the shoes where I have custody of the child, I may do something stupid. I may avoid bringing my child over there because I don't want that man to be around him. It's things that can happen.
So that's him diving into like a ladies' bag right there. We know that 9 times out of 10, more than likely, a woman is going to react on her emotions more than a guy would. Not saying that guys don't, but more than likely, a woman will react on her emotions. So don't even provoke it, or this how we get here. Don't even provoke the emotion, or this how we get here.
But it's wrong. You understand?
Absolutely.
So posting that video could have caused negative feelings or a negative response in her. Posting the video of her walking the baby over to his car, the video that he said he does the things to protect himself, her seeing that could make her feel, you know, harassed, whatever the case may be, to where she's like, I'm not going over there if he's just gonna be doing stuff like that. And all this stuff would result in you not seeing your child. So my advice would be, you know, as much as it still bothers you that this has been done, that it's still being done, probably don't speak on it. or at least address her. Certain videos, things like that, you should document things, but you shouldn't post them. Anything that could infuriate her to responding in a negative way, which could mean you not seeing your daughter, is going to hurt your daughter. So as a man, you know, try and move in a way that, you know, creates harmony so you can see your child. So my advice would just be drop it. Drop it and work together for your child. You understand? If on the other side, she was sitting here and she's upset because he's posted something, she's upset at something that he done, I would advise her, still take him as child. I know how it feels. I know you don't want to. I'd be mad too. But it's going to hurt your child. And as adults, you have to keep thinking like that. You got to think for the child. So that would be my advice. But anyway, guys, I said what I said. You're not going to stop me from talking, old lady. All right?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kevin Wesley.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Unbiased. And I think he said what needed to be said. It really just gonna take Robert, man, just to understand that, cause 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to do like all the other baby daddies in this situation, bro. And you're gonna have to bend the knee. Okay? You're gonna have to lose the battle to win the war. You're gonna have to probably give in to a lot of stuff that you ain't gonna want to just to get minimum contact with your daughter. And this a lot of men are faced with this reality, bro. Like, dang, do I go hard, keep my rep? Because for a lot of dudes, all you have is your face card, your name, and your reputation. So when you see somebody start to tear away at that, you naturally get defensive. But like it's kind of time, bro, to like, bro, we see your effort. We know you want to be a daddy, bro. Sometimes you gonna have to bend the knee to breathe so you can get your child. You might lose. That might look like a losing battle, but to have your child in your life every other weekend, that's where you win the war at. So, I mean, cuz, like, I don't got no big brother, but I'm telling you, if I did, I'd listen to his advice. So shout out to him once again. That's dope. That you even got somebody you can get counsel from like that. So that's super dope. But Rob, I'm more towards with you on the petty side of the game. I like to be petty. I like to go lick for lick. Matter of fact, I ain't even lick for lick. You hit me one time, I'm hitting you 3. Oh shit! but I think we should listen to Big Bro right here, because he done been through it. You know what I'm saying? He done been through it. Sometimes it don't really be worth it, cuz. It don't really be worth it. And I ain't gonna lie, cuz, Rob, you better than me. Cause I already told y'all, given the moment that I have to pay child support, I'm deadbeat daddy. Oh shit! I'm 2K. What is you saying? I'm a deadbeat daddy. Put me on child support. Let the money raise the little nigga. Oh, you went to the white man on me? You told these folks you don't think I'm gonna help you? Cool. I'm not. Oh shit! So even Robert trying is a plus, because you got one time even mention child support. We got 3 kids. You mention child support. I ain't taking care of one of them. Now I got 2 kids. Oh, you gonna bring it up again? Now I got 1 kid. You might well go file the paperwork. See, that's the type of pet I am. So, don't even mention child support to a nigga like who really take care of their kids, because it's a slap in the face. You ain't gonna double dip on me. You ain't gonna get my money, then have the kids calling me asking for stuff. Who? Oh shit! I never used to understand my daddy. Child support come through whenever he paid it. And I need some new shoes. I'm gonna call your dad, ask him. Hey, Pop, yeah, man, I need some new shoes for school. Get it out the check. Hey, Pops. Yeah, man, listen, my graduation coming. Get it out the check. Hey, what to do, Pops? Yeah, I'm trying to get something on it so I can get a car. Get it out the check.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
I didn't know what get it out the check mean. Now I know what get it out the check mean. Oh, you think I wasn't gonna do nothing? I'm not. So if push comes subs, they get it out the check. Cause I ain't with that. You ain't gonna get me. You ain't gonna get my child support and my support. What? You gonna have to pick. And one pay way higher than the other. I tell you that. But what else? Y'all, I'm petty, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm petty. I'm petty. But I don't think Sarah put me on child support. But you know, when a woman mad, you don't know what they gonna do. You don't know what they gonna do. I ain't never thought Sarah hit me in the back of the head before. She was mad she hit me, so I just don't know. Now, did this last? Oh, got a question. How long? But we got a little intermission.
All right, so he about to move on to his intermission. All right, so listen, we about to get into it, man. So let's see. I'm gonna start off by reading here. Was right. However, it's easier said than done when you're being antagonized. So when I give counseling, okay, in the area of co-parenting, I warn both parents that my advice is going to be in the best interest of the child. I give them a fair warning. It's not going to be in favor of either one of them. I'm going to make the decision that's best for the child. I speak for the ancestors, and that's our children coming forth, right? There's something that their family is something that we're building, whether we break up or not, and the focus has to be on building. So you have to set all the other things to the side and focus on building. If you're not building, you understand what I'm saying? So once you have a child together, you're going to have to be able to work it out. Now, this is something we don't always think about. You know you may not want to be together anymore, but you can't agree. You're in the same house, can't agree, can't get along, maybe irreconcilable differences, whatever the case may be, the marriage dissolves. You're still going to have to work with this person. And it's still going to be difficult. Unfortunately, it's going to be difficult. So you have to figure out a way that's emotions to the side. So my overall advice to both of them would be to simply just drop it. But like you guys said, it's easier said than done. But again, that advice is simply for the betterment of the child. And what you have to do when dropping it is you got to let go of the past, even though the past truly happened, even though you're still affected by the past. You still got a lot to say about the past, and rightfully so. Got to find a way to drop it. It is the past. Got to find a way to drop it. Whether or not up until this point, got to drop it. And you got to use good faith and say, moving forward, how do we give our child the best possible future? And as parents, if you love your child, stick to whatever that be that you agree to and let the rest go. But I always say the gates of hell, leave. You can always leave. And it takes two. Parenting with somebody. Now listen, you guys are absolutely right when you say, Kevin, that's not fair. It's not fair. But when you're not the one who has sole custody, unfortunately, you got to kind of dance to the beat of the other person's drum. Unfortunately, especially if they are the type to weaponize the child. And this is not to say this is even what she did. On the topic that things that could cause problems, things that are not necessarily wrong, but in light of the wrong timing, they can cause a negative, right? So I always say it's not about right and wrong. You got to get rid of, is this right? Is this wrong? Most of us are human. Most of us are human, right? We're moving off of emotion. So most people are not trying to be downright evil. It's an emotion they're feeling that's causing the reaction that you're seeing manifest, right? So you got to get rid of how each person feels. If I'm looking at this non-biasedly, to completely remove from it, I can understand his anger. I can understand his frustration. I can understand why he wants to catalog this whole thing. He wants to help other people through it. He's always been the type to use whatever his testimony is to help others. That's just the type of person that he is. He was quiet forever, just like a lot of you guys said, and now that he's speaking on it, but wrong timing. You understand? Something don't have to be wrong. It can still cause a negative impact. Moving on don't have to be wrong. So when I said the video that he posted with his lady in the pool could have impact, I can't tell you what this lady felt. I can only tell you what I felt, what I would feel. Okay. So if it's me and I see my child, if me and Lacey get separated, right? And I'm saying this because Samika is so small, right? All right. So if me and Lacey separate and pool with some man swimming with my baby, I'm gonna lose it. I would be a terrible co-parent. So this is not me pointing fingers to try to make her seem like a bad person. I don't think it's jealousy either. I think it's a parental type instinct, something deep inside of you when you don't want nobody else, your child, not that close to your child. I don't know. For me, it's not that it's wrong. It's just the person might not be ready for that. And when you co-parenting, you kind of got to consider that if you try to maintain a healthy environment, and maybe just don't post it is what I was saying, right? You know it's going to happen. It's life, but even if you could handle it, like say my brother, for instance, right? He got pretty close with them. Okay, he loved them like his own children. So he's a little more mature in that area. He can completely understand that you're going to move on, you're going to meet somebody else, and for him, he can handle that a little better. Me personally, I've never done it. I've never stepfathered children. All of my children have been my own. No man has ever been involved with my children. I couldn't take it. I'd be the worst co-parent in the world. I would be the worst co-parent in the world because I don't want him patting my child on the back when he do with his knee if he fall. I don't want you doing shit. Get away from my son. That's how it would be. I'd be a terrible co-parent. It'd be all type of baby daddy drama. I just couldn't imagine. I know I couldn't do it. So that'd be a huge move for me to be like, we breaking up. Like, nah, we're gonna have to work this shit out. Because I want to raise my, that's important to me. Very, very important to me. It can be important to to both people, and sometimes marriages just don't work out. I couldn't do it. So again, I can't say this is how she felt. I can't say that at all. I can say for me, the video that you guys are looking at is beautiful. It is beautiful. Miss Season swimming with Amora. Beautiful scene. If that's me looking at that and that's my child, I'm hurt. It ain't jealousy. It's hard. I don't know if they got a word for that. But it's just a parent's instinct. When a child is that young, there's just a connection that you don't want nobody else to have. This is why they say divorce is worse than marriage, right? Because when you're married, you live with your child in the house with you. No, it's nothing like that. So to lose that and not already is devastating to the man. It's already devastating because the man typically doesn't get the child. So it's like he loses his whole family. You know, so it's worse than death. Because if you lost someone, if someone passed on, you still have your children, right? You wouldn't have to worry about your child getting close to some other person. You wouldn't have to worry about seeing your person with someone else. And all these things are difficult when it comes to divorces, man. So it's easy for us to sit on the outside and be like, he don't love her no more. She don't love him no more. Like, listen, y'all. But they were married for years. It's gonna be complicated. It actually still is very early. And there's time to turn this thing around and become something functional for the child. But you got to put the child first. You just have to. If I'm looking at my brother, I completely understand why he would be upset, why he want to talk about it, and why he want to talk about it again and talk about it some more. I completely understand that. I completely understand him having absolutely every right to post whatever he wants. Why should he care when she posted all those videos to intentionally provoke him? You're absolutely right. Reality, right? You can't be about getting them back, and it's got to be about what's best for the child. And what's best for the child is drop it. It seems like it makes sense, right? If she can post all of this, she should be okay with this. And this is just assuming that she is. She may not be. She may not be bothered by this at all. I said this before. That's like saying, just because somebody can throw a punch, or you can throw a punch, but you can't take one. Why? It seems like they should be able to, right? They've been throwing them, right? It's two totally different areas of like development, right? They could be sitting outside shadow boxing, throwing punches all day, and they may have never worked on the muscles that make you able to take a punch, like strengthening your neck and your jaw. You understand? Actually getting out there and taking, you got to get used to it. Sometimes even when you in boxing, right, you can have a hard hit that your knuckles can't really withstand, so you can bust your hands up a lot. So you got to strengthen your knuckles, your wrists, and everything. So it's really to think that somebody's completely sounds easy, sounds true, but it's just not. It's not reality. So if you are moving to say, man, I want to be able to see my daughter every single time, I don't want any issues. You can't say, okay, well, she did it. She did even worse. She posted, she did all of that stuff too. Not when you know a person could react by way of not bringing you your child, right? And let's just take the video where he posted the video saying, you know, of course, he always protect himself. A lot of negative press from that, a lot of negative feedback, right? But let's be real. If she had looked pregnant, she wouldn't have got all that negative feedback, right? But either way, whether it was negative feedback or positive feedback, if I put myself in her shoes again, I would feel upset. I would feel like, damn, that's what you're doing? I would feel upset. And regardless of what I've done to this person in the past, whatever, I would still feel upset. If I'm her, I would feel upset. So you got to think, this happened. Thank you so much. This happened when she was bringing the child, right? I might say, what bro say, hang on. I respect your perspective because you've never been a stepfather or raised anybody's children other than your own. Yes, sir, I haven't. And so that's why I actually got to say he's more of co-parenting because those things wouldn't bother him as bad. He's done it before. He understands what a stepfather looks like from that perspective. I don't, you know. But either way, I would say, yeah, I would be offended if I was her. So anything like that, when you co-parenting, you really kind of gotta consider both of you got to consider each other. And some of you ladies have had a terrible father that you were co-parenting with. And no matter what you did, all right, bro, no matter what you did, they might just not show up for the child. They'll punish the child because they mad at you. So they'll make broken promises, and it's supposed to be their weekend to pick him up, and to punish you, they won't. And you kind of know what it's like when you got a father, like when you got a man that you co-parenting with like that. When you want your child to be able to see their daddy, they happy about it every week, but you already know he's going to not come pick the child up as soon as you make him mad for whatever reason, right? I'm sure if you guys have been through that, you can understand how difficult that can be. And it's just a part of reality. If you want your child to see that person, you gotta navigate around it. You guys are right. She know better. You're absolutely right. But that's the mother of your child. That's who you have to co-parent with. You can't swap them out. This is why you have to, make sure that you're making really good choices when it comes to planting your seed, because you're going to have to work with that person. So whatever name you want to call them, whatever issues you feel like they may have psychologically, whatever issues you think they may have traumatically, that's your child's father or mother. You have to figure out a way to work it out for you. Those things actually get in the way of working together. You really just got to set that stuff to the side and not live in that world where you're telling each other you got mental issues, that you got problems. You got to really just say, starting from this point, man, starting from this point, how do we work this out? Hey, let's bring my brother up real quick.
Yo, what up, bro?
What's up with you, bro?
Yeah, I just want to come up real quick just to speak on Real Father Gang. I've been running that brand for over a decade. You know what I'm saying? So, going through custody battles. See, you've never gone through a custody battle or been in a situation where you wasn't allowed to even be around your kid. You dig what I'm saying?
Never.
So that's why I respect your opinion, because you have been with your kids your entire life. You raised your own kids your entire life. But when you start going through child custody, and I speak on this because of the Real Father Gang situation, there's a lot of men out here who have been alienated away from their children because they went into a new relationship. You feel what I'm saying? So me, I'm the type of person in both of my relationships that I had where I have kids at, when I leave my relationship, I am done with my relationship. So you have to understand as a man, when you live in a relationship, that a woman is going to move on at some point in their life. I would never have an issue with any of my baby mothers having new dudes around, as long as their backgrounds is clean, they're not sex offenders, they're not harmful to my children, they treat my kids right with respect, they're nice to my kids, those type of things. I wouldn't even feel a way about another guy being around my kid, as long as I know they're like me. Because I've been a stepfather before. I've raised kids that are not mine. And when I go in, I understand that I'm going to treat those kids like they're my own children. So I feel like it shouldn't be no animosity or anything in those situations. It should be a clean slate regardless. When you move on from that relationship is over with. That's just what it is. You can't expect a woman or a man, when the relationship is over, to be single for the rest of their life. And you should also expect that the person that a person go out and be with is going to be a good person that you know that your kids can be around. When you go out and pick a new person to be around, whether it's a friend, a marriage, or
I'm gonna find something wrong with. I'm gonna find something wrong with him regardless.
Nah, I know you would, because you've never been in that situation.
That ain't happening.
That's how you're gonna see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna find something wrong with everything on him.
Yeah, but see, and that's why I said, as human beings, if the relationship is over with, you have to understand, when you make that decision to say this relationship is no longer, you have to understand that that person is going to move on. No one is going to go out and just be alone for the rest of their life. And then you should encourage them to pick someone that's going to be equally like you, that's going to love your kid the same way you would love your kid. That's how it's got to go. Now, some people jump out here and they jump into a random situation, or they bring their kids around the first person, or they bring their kids around a person immediately. I've never been that way. Cause like, I'll take you back to my first, cause everybody has seen my stuff online. People seen me go through a custody battle for my oldest daughter. You saw that on the internet. So my daughter was 9 years old at the time. And the first baby mama, I hadn't touched her since my daughter was actually 3 years old. So that's 6 years that had went by where it was nothing sexual, nothing intimate, nothing at all, no dating, nothing, just mother and father. You dig what I'm saying? So when I did get in that relationship, when my daughter was 9, that's when everything went crazy, and then I had to do a custody battle. I started getting kept away from my child, and 6 years had went by. My first baby mama had about 3 or 4 more children after my daughter. I never had an issue. I never asked no questions about the guys that I know that then came around. I ain't asked no questions about it. I make sure my daughter is good. That's it. So
see that particular situation, I look at it as a little differently because you wasn't married when she was born, so you didn't get to live with her right off like that. But with your current is that having her with you every day, having her under your roof every day. So I can see how that will be a little bit more difficult. You see what I'm saying? Do that make sense?
it makes sense, but laws and stuff is in place for a reason. So I've learned to be able to, I'm not putting my emotions in anything when laws are in place. Like that's why laws are there.
Well, now you said something earlier, right?
Yeah.
If 2 people decide to break up and go their way, they should understand that the other person's going to move on, right?
Right.
And they should even trust the other person to find somebody that's good. It's like them, going to love them, right? That's what you said, right? But does that mean they always will? No, right?
No, I definitely don't mean that they always will.
Now, and here's the kicker. You have no control over that because it's their life.
No control at all.
This is what I'm trying to say. This is for anybody co-parenting, right? A man, the way a man would alienate the child in that moment, she done got with some dude that he know ain't good for the child, even if he's right. If he say, I'm not coming to get her next week, I'm not taking her to the fair like I promised. This is his way of alienating the child. Now, he knows that it punishes the mother because she wants her child to have a relationship with a father in some cases. But that's how he will weaponize the child. The way a mother would in that same situation, if your child, because she don't want that woman around her child. And she might be right. It might be that the woman might actually be bad for her child. She might can see it. He could be running women and just keep nothing but women over there and know that her little girl or son is going to be, swayed some type of way by seeing that, being in that environment. You still can't take control. You still have to take them their child. And this is what I was saying, alienating the child is co-parenting. Even if you think you're protecting the child. That's why I say it's not about right or wrong. It's about the child. And that's why these laws are in place, really, to protect the child, what's in the best interest of the child. So whenever you get emotional, you often going to forsake what's best for your child. I would be a terrible co-parent because, bro, listen, if I pulled up to pick up my son and saw this dude tossing my son in the air, having fun with him, I'm beating them both up. No, I'm playing. But listen, he going to get that work. I promise you. And I probably will be mad at my son on the way back. He going to be in the car seat. My nose going to be in there. I'm going to be touched by it.
But like I said,
how dare you get close with him? Listen, I'm just saying, for me, it would be very, very difficult for me, bro. So
no, I hear you, and I hear you, and I definitely disagree. I definitely disagree with the actions, but like I said before,
exactly wrong. I can't do that.
Yeah,
and I probably wouldn't bring him back. Lacey have to find me.
Well, I mean, the thing, like I said, with that type of situation. And like I said, people grow apart for whatever reason it is, but that just comes with it. If the relationship don't work out, that comes with it. And again, team, how they say it takes a village to raise a child? You act like you don't know that concept.
I do. I just know that I probably see. That's why I say relationships are about the people in them. I'm speaking personally for me. I probably wouldn't be a good co-parent. I would probably have to go through some serious therapy to let go and allow that to happen. I mean, look, I asked Lacey earlier, right? If she saw me with somebody else with Samik, and she had sole custody, would she bring me my child? She said, I probably wouldn't. And I said, I wouldn't bring him to you either. I'd be, because I know I wouldn't, it wouldn't even be to punish. It'd be to protect myself. I ain't trying to see that. I don't want that happening. That's why it's difficult. Now, like you said, for yourself, your history, your background, you've seen it from both sides. You've done that. You've been a father to children who you didn't give birth to. So you have a level of experience that I don't have. So I see this from simply my own purview. I ain't never spent time without my children. Listen, my children grown, right? My grown children. I'd be pressed about you getting too close to my children. Let's be real, bro. You get around, you put your arm around just something like you're trying to do like some little headlock or some shit. I'm over there like, what's up? What's happening over here?
Yeah, but see, you gotta call me, but like we said, if of course we don't want that to ever happen, but I could definitely help you through that. I could be your therapist in that situation because I'm Mr. Self-Control. And this is it. In those situations, you have to talk to your children. You have to tell your children everything that's wrong, everything that's disrespectful that another person could do. In my case, obviously I would talk to my little girls. If a man says this to you, if a man does this to you, if a man treats you this way, I would teach them everything that's wrong. So when my kid comes back to me, my kid can tell me if those things took place. So then that way you already know. And if she comes, oh no, everything is good. No, this person treats me like this. This person talks to me this way. Now that kind of takes away it out because you got to be, it's about the best interest of the child. Make sure your kid is protected at all costs. That's how that go. So that way you can kind of sleep better at night about that situation. Again, it takes to raise a child.
This is why I say unless ABUSC is going on, try and work it out. Try to work through your differences because especially for those first years up until like 8 or 9 years old, it's just so important, man, because the children, even if you guys move on, not speaking for you, but I'm saying just in co-parenting, the child may not be ready for that transition on meeting another person and loving another person, and it can be confusing for them and all this. And this is exactly what I say.
But it's our jobs as parents. It's our jobs as parents to get our kids ready for that. If we're not gonna stay together, if we agree to go our separate ways, it's our jobs as parents to get our kids ready for what could come. That's it. We have to prepare them for it.
And listen, and even though that's true, there's still a level of trauma to it. Let's say they meet someone, they get acquainted, they do understand what's happening, and then in a short time, they're gone. This hurts the children, and there's no explanation that can take this trauma away. And if you can avoid that by staying together, again, pending not dangerous, pending it hasn't got to a harmful place, harmful environment. This is why I say you have to respect people who go through divorce and some tough emotional shit to get through. And just that's why I say placing judgment all through it. Who's wrong, who's dead wrong for this, who really a lot of this stuff is emotional. And if you got to get to a point to where you can set things to the side just to even be able to work together again. Because I mean, it's just the facts. Your child depending on it, it can carry on as long as you want it to. And like I say, everybody have a right to, I know you can't say certain things or whatever. So if I'm getting too close, let me know.
No, it's like, for me, it's like I said, when a relationship is over with, I'm a lot different from a lot of other people. If I'm done with a relationship, I've made up my mind, I'm through. I don't care about nothing that's going on outside of that. As long as my child is good, I do not care about nothing else. As long as my kid is good, man. Like, I don't focus on who they're dating, pregnancies and all of that. I see stuff because it comes to social media because of who I am as me being latruth, me being an entertainer. I know whatever my exes do is gonna come down the timelines of social media, right? I see things come down my timelines. I see things in my comments about my exes, from pregnancies to if they had an argument in their house, it comes to my social media platforms because I've been known across the globe for a long time. So even when I see it come down my timeline, I don't even call them about it. It's not my business. If it's something that's serious going on, I feel like somebody would call me. If it's something going on with my kids or something, I feel like somebody would call me. Oh, it's a threat. This happened, X, Y, Z. If no phone call comes to me, what I see on social media could be fake. I have no clue. I don't know what's going on. So even with pregnancies and stuff like that, I've never had a phone call with none of my exes about a pregnancy, none of that. When a baby comes and I see it actually on the internet and they post the baby and all that, that's when I know it's real because I get to see them actually rocking the baby and all of that. But as far as social media, when people come tell me stuff, I don't talk to them about it because I don't care about no one's pregnancy as long as hopefully it's a healthy pregnancy. When I hear about it, I wish you guys the best, but it's not my children. See what I'm saying?
That's interesting because it's definitely been spin to put out there that you asked about a pregnancy.
Never. I've never asked no one about their pregnancy, bro. Like I said, it comes down my timeline. I get attacked by people in my comments daily. They tell me I'm mad over pregnancies and stuff. I only know about pregnancies through my comments. And then videos and bloggers when I see the bloggers talk about it. But I'll never directly go to any of my baby mothers and question them about a pregnancy. I don't care. That's not my business. It's not my baby. When I leave completely. Ain't no dipping back. See, a lot of dudes, where they messing up at, they dipping back, still sleeping with their baby mamas and all of that. I don't do that. I'm not dipping back, sleeping with my baby mamas and none of that. It's over with. It's a wrap. You see what I'm saying? So if I hear about a pregnancy, it's okay. I'm not going to talk to them about it because I don't care. It's not my business. That's so but I'm aware of, I've seen some of the bloggers, and man, I'm the Sister Saga started. I watch a lot of different content. I watch a lot of different bloggers break it down, from the people that's on my side, the people who's speaking highly of me, or the people who speak negatively on me. I've never told nobody to say anything about me, period. On this, since any of this stuff happened, I've never told nobody to talk about me. I've been an entertainer damn near my whole life, you know that. So when I see people talking about me, whether it's my music, me having a kid, me being in a relationship, my relationship not working, whatever the case may be, people are going to talk about those things, man. I've been in the public eye for over a decade, over a billion views on all of my content all together on every platform if you combine it. I had almost 9 million followers on Facebook. I have 1 million followers on Instagram. I have 2.6 million on TikTok. Every platform that I've ever touched had millions of followers on it. Of course, people are going to talk about me, but I've never asked no one to do it. So when I see these things and the statements people make, it's just be like, I understand it comes with being an entertainer.
Broke up just a bit.
I use my voice and platform to try to help people through things I've gone through, though. Just like when I went through my first custody battle, I started doing Real Father Game. When I won that custody battle, and I seen so many men out here who don't get to see their kids because of what you're talking about right now, it's not a good look that people don't get to see they can't move on. They can't be happy. After a breakup or whatever, you should still be able to be happy, both parties. So these games that people play because a person gets in a new relationship, it only hurts the child. So that's why I tell people, prepare your children. Most of the time in a breakup or a divorce, you should sit your children down and have this conversation anyway. They have to know what's about to happen and what could come next. They have to know. You have to let your kids know this, because kids don't ask to be here. So our goal as parents is to make our children's life easier than what our lives was. That's
so peep this though. How often you remember growing up, man? How many men was telling you that the ones who didn't have custody, in order to see their child, you kind of got to do what she wants you to do, right? And if you want to be in your child's life, you're gonna have to not kind of bow down, but yeah, you're gonna kind of have to do what she wants you to do if you're gonna be around.
Absolutely, heard it, seen it, and I realized so many fathers, and that's like, again, the reason why I started Real Father Game was for those reasons. To see so many fathers not being able to be real fathers to their children because of the hurdles and all the obstacles put into place to stop them. Like, you got to think, even when a man wants to have the same rights as a woman, they want to be able to, because the woman has her kids around other people. So when a man does it, then all of a sudden now she can pull so many strings. She can be a puppet master. And now these dudes can't be a father to their kid because she has control of the situation. And that's what real father gang is about, is to let men know women don't control anything when it comes to your children. Those children are y'all's together. And you have to both follow the guidelines. It's both of your children, 50%. Can't no man have a kid without a woman, and can't no woman have no kid without a man.
But
Now,
see,
let's
we
take
live in a world that the system doesn't treat it like that, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times when you're dealing with a toxic person, they will take advantage of that system. Somebody said something here. They said, no, Kevin, that's not true. That's why that's why it's a court, so she can be stopped. Listen, I'll tell you this, guys. Most men can't afford to take their girl to court when this is going on. And if they can, it's going to be some time before they get to. So it'll be a lot of time that they miss with their child regardless, and it's going to cause that type of damage. And if it's the type of father who really, really crushes him and not see his child, he's going to. And what'll typically happen is the man will just finally say, bump it, and walk away from it all because he's tired of being emotional. And all of a sudden he's called a deadbeat. You know what I mean? So we've seen this happen where the mother can make it so difficult for him to parent his child that he'll finally just wash his hands of the whole thing and be like, I see him when she's grown. I see him when he's grown. And it sucks. I'd hate to be in a situation like that, but I've seen men go through it and could understand their frustration. And I hate that sometimes it can be that bad, but sometimes it can be that bad.
It can, and that's why I started Real Father Gang. Again, I went through the same situation. Was I discouraged? Yes. But my love for being a father for my child was way greater, and I wasn't going to lose. I hired a lawyer. I went to court. I spent thousands of dollars. And some men don't win in those situations. But I'm here to tell you, your kid is worth you fighting for. Every man around the world, win, lose, or draw, fight for your child. If you do lose, at least you know you did put up the best fight possible for your child. And that's just it, hands down. And 9 times out of 10, if you're dealing with somebody who's emotionally driven and they do certain things, you're going to win in the court of law. If they're doing things that's very noticeable, because at the end of the day, the same way it's about the best interest of the child for us as mothers and fathers, it's the same way in the court of law. And you just got to take the first step. All the fathers around the world who will see this right now, if you're going through that, you have to understand no one controls your child. Not the man, not the woman. It's equal rights. And you have them. You just got to go to court and fight for it. And it's a lot harder for people who kids have not been legitimized. If your kids was born out of wedlock. Now, when you have your children in a marriage, it's definitely rules that's got to be followed through divorce decrees. So to anybody who's went through a divorce, you're going to find it a lot easier when you're going through a custody battle. Rules have to be followed. So if you lose a custody battle, it's because you lost it on your own. You didn't follow the rules. You the one broke every rule in that. So you lost yourself.
Right. Now this is now watch this. Everything you saying, facts. This is what you're saying is actual facts, right? Now, what I said before I even got into this breakdown is I speak for the child, right? The child. The psychological impact that all those facts could play on a child is enormous. Think about this. Child's not being taken to the other parent for some other reason. They're missing their parent. They're blaming themselves. They don't know what's going on. They have a tough time rebonding with their parent when they see them because of this time apart. Potentially one parent could be bad-mouthing them to the child. All this can weigh on the child's mind. Okay, so the parent who's being kept away from their child, okay, they have rights, just like everybody else. So they file them. They go through a custody battle. Now the child, say they win. Now the child is removed from their mother, whom they love as well, and they're now with their father. And so now the child sees their mother every once in a while, where it was the father. still, is it my fault? I miss mommy because the child don't think mommy did this. The child doesn't understand this stuff. So while as parents, as people, human beings, we have all these rights, simply not getting along, simply not working together in harmony, the psychological damage will be on your child regardless. Even if you have all these rights, even if you exercise them, child going from this home to that home to I can't go over here this week. Why? Because really ultimately it's because you're mad about something. Or the father saying, I ain't coming to get the child because they mad about something. It all ultimately weighs on the child, and the child's the one who's damaged the most by all of this. And this is if you go through the custody battle, and finally when you get your child, and you've experienced this, by the time you get your child, you're dealing with a child now who has psychological damage, even from just what you went through to get your child. Think about all the years you was kept away, how you had to fight to see her. Then when you finally got her, there's this wedge you got to kind of fight through to get reacquainted with your own child. That relationship will never be what it could have been. You understand? And so,
yeah, but like I said, you still have to always look at.
It's like even though you have your child still, you end up with a shell of what it could be, and all of that can come just from the emotional tug of war or just the legal tug of war that it takes to do what's even right. It's crazy.
And you got to also look at this too,
both of y'all, whether you're right or wrong.
Even with that breakdown you just made, to the man who gets tired and says, you know what, man, I can't do this no more. It's emotionally draining. I'm stressful. I'm losing my income behind this. You know, I don't have the money to spend as much for a lawyer. And then when they did spend the money and they ended up taking the L, when that kid becomes older and that father just stepped back because it was the best benefit for his health at that time, because stress can kill you. That relationship and how that child looks at that father as a deadbeat, when the whole time that father wanted to be there for his child. So both ways that you name it could be a situation, but we also got to look at this. We got laws, again, for a reason. And that's why they make these laws, so people can't do these type of things to each other. Follow the rules, follow the guidelines. Like same thing with good versus evil. We know the difference. We know the difference. In life, you have to be good to be rewarded. If you do bad things, you're not going to get the reward that you want. So that's just what happens. And you still teaching your kid right from wrong, even through that process. Your kid's still going to learn something very valuable through that whole process.
We all got a life to live, a reality to face, and things to deal with. So divorce happens. We lost our mother young. It's something we got to deal with. We had to deal with it. Everybody got something they got to deal with. It's the facts.
Life is not fair at all, you know.
No, it's not.
You know, we lost our mom, like you said, I was 5, you was 4.
I was 3.
Well, yeah, you was about to turn 4 again.
Yeah.
But still, like I said, we didn't ask for that. And I've always still been the type of person to do the right thing. And I've been incredible in being a father. Like, I fight to be a father to my kids regardless. So, you know, that breakdown sounds good to be able to have mother and father dynamic together. But we know people who have mother and father dynamic together for their whole life. Doesn't mean they came out to be a better person than the person who didn't have mother and father together. So it's that knowledge can still be given to your kids. Love is everything. The way you love your kids, teach them right from wrong, whatever path they choose after you teach them the right things is the path that they chose. But at the end of the day, you got to fight for your kids regardless. And
so
do I
always say this, man. You guys know I'm not a religious person. So I look at life like this. Good person, bad person, tall, fat, poor, rich, or skinny. We all got to go to the dirt. You can live your life and value principles and morals and all of that and be the best person you can be. You can live your life and value all things superficial. We all going to the same place. Ain't nobody better than nobody. We all fertilizer. Not to diminish who we are, but just a way to humble everybody and be like, hey, it is what it is. So like my brother said, you can raise a child in a 2-parent home and they still not ultimately end up being a good person. Things can happen when they're young to cause them not to have parents at all, and they can still be some of the best people. Listen, man, you know they say if you put an egg in water, it'll harden. If you put a potato in water, it'll soften. So it's not the environment, it's what you're made of, right? Right? It's what you're made of. It's not your environment. So if you look at it that way, I mean, you're absolutely right. The things I say are based on my own philosophy, the way I look at the world. I believe that it's important that we work together with the person we have a child with. There should be some value to that. That's a holy relationship. It created life. It's the only action that can get life. It should be valued as such. The people you choose to do that with should be important. All of that, and then working together and raising who you create. That's important. It's our legacy. It's our lineage. And I just look at that like that's to me, that's the most important thing. So somebody else, it may not even be that important to them. You understand what I'm saying? So what I try to do is say, if a person wants to have a harmonic relationship with their child, you're no longer together. All decisions must be made with your child in mind. You have to separate your emotions, whatever, however the relationship dissolved. That has to go away. The relationship's over. Now all we have is co-parenting. So any harboring of any anger, animosity, resentment, all of that stuff got to be sacrificed and set to the side so you can co-parent. Any failures where if a person never showed up, they never did it right, that got to be set to the side and replaced with good faith. You the only person that I can father or mother this child with. I'm stuck with you. You stuck with me. From this day forward, can you do right? From this day forward, can we work together? We got a beautiful baby right here. Let's raise up to be strong and beautiful and smart together. Yeah, we didn't work out. Forget it.
Yeah, see, now that's what we're like at.
Huh?
That's what we're like it right there. A very beautiful speech. You know, I give a lot of those. But after that speech, what happens? So once after you
still got to
give
work
speech,
with that person.
No, you don't. You have to work with the courts. Some people will never listen. That's the reason why I told you that's what Real Father Gang is about. You have to go and fight for your child. And the only way you can fight for your child is through the courts when it comes to a point where that level of what you just said, when that does not work that way, you have to go to court. That's just what
No, you're right. That's what I mean. Sometimes it don't work that way. Because listen, wouldn't it be great, bro, if you could go to somebody and just say what it is, try to clear the air, and they actually respond and be like, you know what, let's do it. The problem is they got their own things in their head. They ain't forgiving. They can't look past. And this happens a lot of times in relationships. It's a whole lot of nuanced things that somebody really can't let go. And you're done with it, but they can't be. So it's like at some point you got to just be like, I'm choosing the future. Don't try to win the moment. You can't win. If you win the moment, you're going to lose the future. So everything can't matter to the point to where it's got to be some huge argument and some huge debate. Everything can't weigh that much that we got to stop what we're doing. I look at it like this. If you're building a family, you're building something, right? Or you're going somewhere. The goal is to keep moving and keep building. If me and my wife got to stop to argue, neither one of us are building. And sometimes these arguments can be over nothing and last for days. You understand? And really, the argument itself can cause so many other problems because of what was said during that argument. And it becomes something that's hard to come back from. And the argument that started it was over something so small. You see what I'm saying? So this is in marriage. So you know this is true for co-parenting too, because a lot of times you got less grace for each other when you're not with them. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna hop off, but I just want to say this about any relationship, whether it's friendship, marriage, regular relationship, business, any relationship, period, right? If it takes some type of form, if it takes some form of manipulation and control to make it work, I don't want it. It should be both people have to want each other and want to make the relationship and situation work. If manipulation and control is a form of it, I wouldn't want no parts of it. For one, I would never manipulate and control nobody. And anybody trying to manipulate and control me, it would never work, period. It has to be wanted both ways. And I feel like a lot of people in relationships and they're using manipulation and control to keep the person around, and all of that stuff is weird to me. Like, it has to be a natural relationship, always around the board. It has to be. And if it's not natural, if manipulation and control is a part of it, it's going to be toxic. It's not going to be healthy at all. And,
Shout out
and to
to
go
all
back to
y'all
that
out
God
there.
thing, the religion thing that you said, I definitely want to give my speech on that part.
Okay, do your thing.
I'm definitely a firm believer, and that's why I lead with God got me. And the way I have moved my entire life, I always do the right thing. I show grace just as well as God shows grace. If I didn't show grace, I'd be a totally different person. If I didn't believe in God, I would be a totally different person. And I can say the way I moved my entire life, it makes me think about that song where it says, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. I feel like I get my wins and I get through everything that I get through is because of the way I carry myself, and I'm going to do the right thing. I don't get out here doing stuff on no control type stuff or manipulation. I don't do those type of things. I'm honest, and that's just what it is, man. I'm going to do the right thing. That's just how I rock. And I'm a firm believer. What you put out in this world is what you're going to get back. So, man, it was a good conversation with you, though.
And
bro.
look, and I'll say this too before you go. I'll say this too before you go. The thing you absolutely correct about is you can say all of that, do all the right things, and they still may not work with you. They still may be a tyrant. They still may do whatever they can to cause a problem. And if that happens, a man got to do what a man got to do, and that means pursue every legal right that he has to be able to have a right to their child, to be able to, so they can be in their child's life. You only get one man, and not one child, but one chance, man. Early in life, this stuff can be detrimental, be hard to recover from it because they have a mind. They're not little robots. You know what I mean? So I will say that my point is, even when you exercise your rights and you go through that whole thing, that is still a traumatizing thing for your child. And it sucks to have to do that, but that is the last you got to. You know what I mean? But what I'm speaking on is if you want to have a harmonic relationship with the person you co-parenting with for the betterment of your child without going to court, without having to take it that far, and you're just going to have to work together. But again, you're in a blessed situation if you're able to do that. So shout out to all the co-parents who is able to maintain a healthy co-parenting relationship. It is not easy. We know that. Sometimes it's more difficult than being with the person. So shout out to all of you guys, man, who's able to do that. It's very difficult. And listen, you guys may say, Kevin, you speaking from a place of never having a separation, never doing that. True. But I also have experience in counseling people, and I've been doing this for years. I've counseled many couples in the area of co-parenting, and have helped them to be successful. And my message is always the same. I'm speaking for the ancestor, it's for the child. You got to set your differences aside, and both of you have to honor your responsibilities, which is to that child. You're responsible for that child. You are obligated to the child. Y'all don't have to get along. You don't have to like each other, but you got to work together. And if the other person won't do that, you gotta.
The main thing is taking the emotions out and using.
You got to.
Because the emotions is the main reason why a lot of this stuff is just not right, because people are so emotional.
Right.
Time you got to let go. Who wants you? Because I'm one of the people. If you don't want me, I don't want you.
Right.
That's how it has to be.
And even if you do want them, you still have to put your feelings to the side. In some situations, the man or woman isn't over the other person, but you still listen. In those situations, you still can't behave that way. And that's what abuse is. Abuse is using things to try and control the other person. So if you're a man and you're not over the girl, as soon as you see she got another man, now all of a sudden you like, well, F you and them kids. You got another dude over there now. I'm not doing right by my kids to try and control her. That is alienation of the child and weaponizing of the child. And some women ain't over their man. And so as soon as they see him with another woman, she'll do the same things. And it's not to be necessarily mean. It's really to protect herself from having to see that it's painful. And sometimes it takes seeing that person with the other person to even realize that you weren't as over it as you thought you were. You see what I'm saying? So this does go on. This does go on. And this is why I said, no matter what, though, if you choose to start alienating the child from their parent, you're going to be wrong because you're hurting the child. That's what makes it. You're not wrong for being hurt. You're not wrong for being jealous. You're not wrong for still being in pain or even not over it yet. These are your feelings. Nobody can fault you for that. But if you use those feelings and you don't compartmentalize them, and that affects you being able to co-parent with that person by way of alienating the child, being difficult, not giving certain dates, you don't want, whatever the case may be, you're wrong at that point, because now that's affecting your child. You got to put that shit to the side.
Gotta heal, man. You just have to go. You just gotta go heal, regardless. Like I said, my life is an open book. You seen me for the past 2 years or whatever, when all of this stuff even broke out on the internet. You seen my healing process. I wasn't out here doing nothing else until I gotta heal first.
Right.
When you heal first, I mean, it's just stuff you can go do, man. Meditate, do some yoga, do something like.
Now listen, bro, and listen, here's the key. You're making it sound a lot easier than what it is. For most people, bro, this shit is hard. It's heartbreaking to not have your person beside you or your children in the same home, or that man but in the home with the children. It fucking hurts. And most people are not vulnerable enough to admit that. So they'll just show like an anger facade or anger mask, or it hurts. I'd be distraught to lose my family, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, so having my children right in the same home with me, knowing that I get first dibs at protecting them, that to me is a driving force for me. It always has been. You feel me?
And it should be. And that's my advice to anybody. What you just said, it would hurt you to lose your family. We all know what we have to do to keep things that we love.
Right.
We take care of it. We take care of what we love. We appreciate what we love. We you know what I'm saying? We show that. So right. You're gonna lose things. You can't say you love something and do everything to lose it. And then now you feel away when you lose whatever it is. I never understood that about human beings, period. How you say you love something, but you treating that what you say you love like you hate it, that you don't want nothing to do with it at all. That makes no sense. You're gonna always lose.
This is why I say it's complex, bro. I've seen babies bite the nipple of their mother because the mother didn't bring the milk soon enough. You understand? Sometimes people attack exactly who they love because they're the reason they are hurting. Let me tell you something, bro. Breakups can be difficult. Listen, breakups can be difficult. When a person chooses to walk away from another person, right? The person that wants that person back. Now, both of them could be yearning for each other. Both of them could be missing each other. And one of them could be just knowing that's a bad move, right? So say a woman left an abusive situation. She could still love him, but know it's not back. The man, on the other hand, he wants her to come back and she won't come back. So she's taken from him the thing that he really loves, which is her. And so her denying him of her would infuriate him to the point to where he'd want to attack her for taking herself from him. I swear to God.
That's not love, though. But that's not love. If he was abusing her, it's not love.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you.
Don't make sense to me.
Whatever word you want to put, listen to me, whatever word you want to put on it, you can call it not love. I don't live in that world. All I know is that it can create an emotion that's so strong inside of a person that it makes them absolutely reactive, that they punish the very person that they want to be around them. It's just, you can say it's not love. I don't care if it's not love. I'm only telling you the reality.
It's not supposed to be painful. It's like,
what I'm telling you is I don't care that it's not love. It's just reality. They want the very person that they're hurting back. Listen, bro, I don't know if you remember Heather Lowry from school. White girl, Heather Lowry from school. She got
I don't want to talk about nobody from school though.
Okay, well, I'm just saying it was she ended up getting STBBED several times.
Okay, yeah, I remember that story.
And after he did, it was a domestic thing. And after he did this to her, he was trying to wake up and bring her back. He did it over 20-something times. He did it over 20-something times. And after it was over, he wanted her back. He'd give anything to bring her back. In a moment of heated passion, she hurt his feelings. She broke his heart. And he reacted in that way. Man, you might say that's not love. I don't care what you call it. I live in a world where I look at reality every day, and I'm a student of the universe. I know that these things can cause these things. And whatever these emotions that person feels when you don't come back to them, it's absolutely one of the most difficult things they can deal with. You can't run from it. When you missing somebody, man, and you ain't with them, and they're not coming back to you, the feeling is so overwhelming, bro. Some people unalive themselves. Some people become terroristic and come looking for you. Some people
Yeah, but
get
when you-
online and talk a junk about you. People
when you
handle it in their
experience-
different ways, but it's really.
When
I'm
you
just
experience
explaining.
real love, when you experience what real love is, what it looks like, what it feels like, and all that, then you know. You dig what I'm saying?
But see, you still focused on it's something love. I'm not trying to define love. You asked the question: how can somebody punish or hurt the
It's
very
not
person
painful.
that they
It's
love?
not painful. It's not like love is not painful. Love is not supposed to hurt.
Well, it hurt when somebody died that you love. I mean, it's very painful. Love is very
Absolutely, your
painful.
feelings are gonna be hurt when you lose someone.
Listen,
I'm talking about
listen.
both
You ever heard of
together
yin and
alive.
yang? You ever heard of yin and yang, like the flip side to the coin? You ever heard of that? Like the yin and yang, that you got the dark side, the white side, right?
Yeah.
So love, the other side of it has to be pain. It's the most vulnerable place to be in because only the people that you love really can hurt you. And they can hurt you deeply because you love them. So
I'm trying to figure out the best way to. Okay, love is not intent. Like I said, you can be hurt unintentionally sometimes.
sure.
I'm
absolutely.
talking about intentional. Hurting someone intentional is not love.
Oh, I got you. I'm not trying to define what that
That's
is.
what I'm
though.
saying. Because it's people's feelings get hurt all the time over things. The man didn't mean to hurt her feelings or whatever it was. The woman didn't mean to hurt the man's feelings. But I'm talking about it's a lot of people who intentionally do things to hurt the person that they're with. That stuff is not love.
Oh, again, I don't try to put a name on it.
Like when you said something about a dude stabbing a woman to death, and then that's intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now once her life is over, now he's over here. Oh, I shouldn't have did this.
Yeah, it's happened the other way around. A woman done ended her man.
Right.
That he's on the ground. She realized what she just did, and she is really brokenhearted, bro. You're saying that's not love. It's easy to say that type stuff. What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter what it is. What I'm saying is, this is the reality of it. You simply asked me a question, right? Why would somebody be mean to somebody that they love? Why would they do that? Because they're experiencing a lot of emotion. And that's how it comes out. Some people are not vulnerable enough to say, listen, I need you. I want to spend time with you. They have to say something mean because they're mad at you for not spending time with them. And they process it in different ways. This is when I say someone has sort of a sick mind. They process things negatively instead of positively, right? There's always another way to go about it. But most of this comes from somebody overwhelmed with emotion, bro. That's why they're acting that way.
And those are the people who need therapy and the counseling.
They do, so they can learn how to articulate their emotions better, because everybody's going to be upset. Most of the things, when I counsel people, bro, most of the things they were upset about are righteous. They have absolutely every right to be upset about the thing. It's what they did when they were upset about the thing. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's typically the problem. We all gonna have emotions, bro. Your emotions is like a check engine light. It's telling you something's wrong. You have to, upset.
We've all been hurt, you know what I'm saying? I've been hurt several times throughout my life. And how I chose to react to it was totally different, because you definitely got to have control over yourself. You don't control nothing else but yourself. Like if me and you was to get into an altercation right now, I can only control me. I can't control you.
Absolutely.
So, and that's something I've always had in me since I was a little boy. I'm going to control myself. I'm going to think it. I'm going to think about it. Nah, I'm not going to react that way.
See, I was a total opposite, bro. My philosophy was, if you try to embarrass me, I'm damn sure going to be the one to embarrass you. I'm going to go further beyond than you. But I realized that I can't do that in my older life. You can go to jail for that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Correct. But shit, man, I ain't going to hold you, bro, man. It was a good build, man.
Definitely, bro. Thank you for gracing the platform.
No doubt, bro.
All right, bro. I get with you.
All
right. Hey, listen, man. Anybody want to come up real quick and rap with me on this topic? Some of you guys were saying I was wrong. Some of you guys were saying I was unfair. And I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. But if you guys still want to rap with me about it, if you're not completely understanding what I'm saying, or you disagree for any reason, hey, man, you can get up here and articulate your point. Please don't insult me. You know, we all grown-ups here. So I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to come up, and if nobody comes up, we're gonna get on. I see you guys got a lot to type. It's even hard for me to keep up. Thanks to everybody. Shout out to all you guys for watching the live too. Please hit the like button while you're in here. Raynette, now he understands a whole lot more than he leads on. Trust me, he gets it. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna bring in respectfully April. Peace to you, respectfully April. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
I want to say, just for a quick moment, I appreciate the knowledge and the concept that you are speaking. It totally makes sense. So I want you to know that I do agree when you know you're trying to shine light on maybe how those of us who are watching should maybe look at it from the other side's perspective. Totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the challenging part for me, I'm going to just speak on myself, coming from a divorce, broken family, mom and dad, didn't raise me in a household, traumas and things like that. There comes a time when you have to take responsibility for your actions as an adult. And while I do hear you when you say, like, I listened to your, I don't know if it's your most recent live, but I think it was, where you don't agree, like how Robert showed, like he recorded the video of her, walking up to his car, or showing the video of the family time that he was sharing with Miss Season and the baby. I get that. How much longer can you really expect Robert to, like, how does he not live in his moment? How does he not, he's happy. How long does he need to, like, live in hiding when he's had all of this? Like, I was so angry. All of the things that he's seen played in his face. Like, exactly how much longer? And I get it legally, because he's still in legal proceedings. Perhaps it is time for him to just step away so that he doesn't do any more damage. And I get that that's the sentiment of your message. Like, I totally get that. But he's also human. So, and we're all human. Like, you can only take so much.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you navigate that? Like, that is really hard to do. When you have someone, I believe that Robert has the emotional intelligence to navigate that.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you navigate that when the other party is not equipped with being able to do so?
So, great question. And I'll say this. It's not that I disagree with him posting those things. I don't think he's wrong at all for posting them. I just see how they could negatively impact the situation. I can see how they could cause her to feel negative feelings, and how those negative feelings can lead to a reaction that ultimately means he doesn't see his daughter, right?
Right.
So not that he's wrong for it. I think that he's right for it. He has every right to speak on the situation as much as he wants to. I mean, these things have been done to him. Why can't he, right? He's been quiet for so long. You're absolutely right. But your main question, I believe, is how do you do all this with somebody who it seems like you kind of got to walk on eggshells with? Unfortunately, okay. Now, of course, you have a court system and all this stuff, right? So you have all those last resorts or whatever. But me as a man, I would try to work with that person however I could. If say him and Miss Season, they're happy, I would enjoy all our moments online that we possibly could. But when my daughter's over there, I would say, let's enjoy this time, but let's not post it. Even if we recorded it for posting it later, at this time, I would say she may not be ready to see that yet. I don't want it to affect me seeing my child. Let's just not post that right now. And it sucks to even have to do that. It does.
It sucks because she's never gonna be ready. like never going to be ready, right? So at some point, Kevin, and I know I just cut you off,
Mhm.
she is never going to be okay with him moving on because she didn't want him to move on in the first place. Okay. So she's never going to be okay with it. There's never going to be enough time with this particular individual, with this personality that we're dealing with.
So this is what I would say. Okay. Someone else reiterated one of your main questions was how long. It's not so much about how long, right? Let's pretend you and I were co-parenting, right?
Yeah.
We're in a similar situation.
Yeah.
Now, if we're thinking about the child, right? You got some other guy, I got some other woman. If we're thinking about the child, wouldn't you rather be present when your child met my other person, and then I'll be present also? We can all have one big picnic.
In a perfect world, is that in a perfect world?
Again, I'm just saying, if you said how long, right? So I'm saying it's more about both parents working together to close that gap, so there can be some type of understanding, not a trust, but this way. Don't get me wrong, it's harsh. They're online. There've been some small beefs between each other, so it's not going to be good. It's not. It's when it's online, it's just not going to be good. But in a typical situation, if this is occurring, you as parents would have to get together and say, "Look, I'm not comfortable with my. Can I meet him first? Let's all have some meetings together first." And actually, the child doesn't have to do that all of a sudden either, and they can kind of, work their way into it. And you can be there while that man is there. She can be there while that woman is there, and do what's best for your child. Because I don't see any reason why couples should always be at odds when they separate anyway. I know that's not this current situation, but
right. Well, I totally get it. I mean, my ex-husband and I and his, new wife, we co-parented well. It was a situation where he was, she's a bonus mom. He's passed away since, but when he was alive, we co-parented well. It was a loving environment, so what they're going through is not something that I subscribe to, but I am saying, I mean, at some point I find it is, as y'all say, something to marvel at, that, you throw the stones, and then when the rabbit's got the, now it's not funny anymore. And it's like, you can't, if you don't want, and I know there's a level of maturity that we all need to have for the sake of the children. I will say, like I totally get where Robert comes from when it comes to, I'm a man. Number one, you playing in my face. You're literally, like, men can only take so much. But I do hear you when you say, I just am like, exactly how long do we coddle her? Like, how long do you stand aside? How long, not us, because we're not Robert, but how long does he step aside and allow her to just play in his face?
you can't. You have to do what's best for your child, even if that means you got to go through to the courts. The moment it's interfering with your relationship with your child, you have to, as a man or as a woman, do what's needed to be done, and that's your responsibility to do that.
Yeah,
you only try to work with somebody so much. So, like I say, I say how a person should try and work it out if those problems are there. But if you can't do that, I mean, like you said, you got to have to go through to the court system. But in the meantime, if you want to see a girl between those times, there is a little bit of treading lightly that he has to do and consider, even though he has every right to post about it. If you want to see your little girl, this is just the reality of it all.
Yeah,
he has every right to speak on it. But if he does, if it offends her to some point, and she's the type to do that, I can't say that she is, but if she's the type to do that, you may not see your daughter. Is that worth it? And that's just what you have to think of as a man. When you know somebody reacting that way, you just got to think about that.
But don't you feel like, and I know we have other people on the panel, so I'm going to just ask one other question. At what point do you take control of your situation? And I get legally you can do that, but how do you as a man not feel like, listen, I'm not, and maybe this is the ego part of it, that you just are saying you got to put that all aside and just do what's right for the child.
The goal is to be doing that ultimately anyway. If you're going to court, it takes some time already pursuing that, but you don't want to not see your child during the course of that time. So you still want to see her. So to me, I would kind of just go tread lightly so I can see my daughter until we get these things done in court. Because I already know, if I know the type of person I'm dealing with, you can't change him out. You're going to have to navigate according to who this person is. You can't change who they are. And if you want to see your child, you don't want them affected, doing your best part to do that is kind of trying to work with them. They should be doing that too. They should be trying to work with you too, but it's not a fair world. It's a messed up world.
What is your message to the women that are out here that are causing this sort of havoc? And then I'm going to be quiet. And so the others.
It may feel good to you right now to use this power to control, manipulate, affect your child. You will lose on the back end. The very men that you guys complaining about has been raised the same way without their father. And it's affecting our community, it's affecting our society. Let's get back to doing things the righteous way. Both parents raise their children as they should. Please do not ever interfere with that. You're a gatekeeper. It's demonic to do that. That's dividing the main thing. And that's parents raising that child. Every child deserves both their parents, man. Please don't take that from them. And don't let your emotions get in the way of that.
Yeah, it's a bad thing. It's not cool for the kids for sure. So I appreciate you. I've not ever spoken to you before, but I watch you from afar, and I love your family dynamics. It's not something that I subscribe to, but I also get it. I see that the ladies are happy, and I'm cool with that. All right.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you for letting me up. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace to you, Joseph Wilson and Toya. Welcome in.
Peace, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm amazing, King. How you?
I'm great, man. I kind of jumped in at the end, so I didn't really get to catch the initial, point of, like the questions in regards to the topic at hand. You could, if you don't mind, give me a little rundown, like a real brief rundown.
Just really going through co-parenting, man. I don't know if you ever had to do it, but sometimes when you're co-parenting, you got to work with the person to be able to see your child, especially if sometimes they may not bring your child to see you because they might be mad at you for whatever reason, if that's the case. So I was just sort of giving advice on people in that situation that you got to drop everything and just work together. You can't bring the issues that you broke up for into this. You got to just let that stuff go and do what's best for your child if you want your child to have a healthy relationship with both of y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this is a little bit outside of my expertise. I'm not a father yet per se. And so I have had experience just watching because I have a large family. And so I can see when people have problems in regards to letting someone see the child or having emotions become the barrier between them and the child. And so really it's really just it boils down to equanimity, like being able to have, a logical filter for your emotions to process through. Because if you don't have that logical filter, then you act out of emotion, and because you feel a certain type of way, you just move off of the emotion.
I lost Joseph. He was going in. And Joseph was going in. Basically, what he's saying is emotions will make you take control of the moment. And the things you do in the moment can destroy your future. So you really have to be able to compartmentalize and stay logical. Just think when you're emotional, your purview is cut down. You can't see far when you're mad. So if you make a decision out of that anger, it's probably going to be the bad decision for your future person. For right now, what you're doing in anger feels good. But when it comes back, and you yourself have to pay for the consequences for what you did in that angry moment, you'll begin to understand what karma truly means. It's not really bizarre and spooky. Peace, Toya. Welcome in.
Quick couple questions. So one, I just don't understand why, because your brother jumped on the panel and started talking about this stuff again with the co-parenting and stuff. Now, wasn't it a court order that y'all don't talk about this stuff no more? Like, I don't see Brianna jumping on panels talking about co-parenting and what's wrong with it and what the person is doing, because that is something that y'all should be having behind closed doors, right? Because y'all wasn't talking about none of this stuff until you missed a weekend, whether it was on purpose or intentionally or wasn't or not. I don't know. Don't really care. But when he was at Rick Ross' backyard and missed the summer, and even before that, and he didn't see her for 9 whole months, nobody was doing panels about co-parenting because he wasn't even thinking about the co-parenting. And one no co you didn't even have it. Nobody was talking about co-parenting. Now all of a sudden he making all these statuses about co-parenting because he missed the weekend. Now that it's a big old issue, which I don't understand at all. And then it just constantly keeps getting brought up. And then constantly there's people that just left your panel, that lady, and other people that still constantly talking about the situation, when why y'all can't just leave it alone? Why do y'all keep getting on panels and keep getting on social media talking about Robert and Brianna's situation? Whether they deal with it outside of social media or not, I don't know why it has to be a topic or of discussion, and why people are still in it and giving their 2 cents and still saying. I don't see Brianna's dad jumping on people's panels talking about the ways to co-parent and ways to do this. I don't see. Brianna got brothers, Brianna's got uncles, Brianna got people, got family members. So we talking about family because you're family. We ain't talking about other people that's doing it like Amora and all of them. We're talking about family members. Like y'all, you're getting on here stating about co-parenting because your brother is talking about co-parenting, but that's not even supposed to be on social media right now. Because I could have, ain't that in contempt? Why are y'all even talking about it? Because now she can use the recordings that she did, because people are you bringing her up, and y'all, his and her situation, we all know what y'all talking about. It ain't just random people in the world. Y'all talking about Robert and Brianna co-parenting, but why? Like, why are y'all not having that private conversation outside of social media?
Okay. You there? You there?
I didn't hang up.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry. I can't answer for why Brianna doesn't have people speaking up, or her brothers and sisters don't say anything, and that certainly can't be the reason that I can't say anything, or whatever the case may be. But I don't know if you heard Robert clearly, but he didn't mention anybody's name. He was just speaking.
We know what he's talking about, though, so it ain't about mentioning names.
By law, he can't mention her name. He can't speak directly about her. So
right.
He knows how to talk. He knows what he was saying.
Right, but you want to know probably why her family not doing it, because it's between her and Robert. And it really don't have nothing to issue. I mean, it's really literally between the mom and the dad, and it just, y'all are social media people, so y'all just constantly keep bringing stuff on social media. But it's literally like in a real world, in regular life, nobody would be on social media talking about this stuff. That would be between the parents. And so, like you saying, like I can bring it up because it's really nobody else's business. Like, it really isn't. I don't see Brianna getting on her stuff talking about that kind of stuff. She's doing whatever she do on her daily life, and not talking about co-parenting. They're dealing with it with the courts. Let the courts deal with it.
Now, again, you're welcome to your opinion.
I know.
But just know that people are still going to talk about it however they choose. And even if you disagree, I don't think that they should, right? Now, everybody do it for their own reason or purpose, too. My purpose is to provide enlightenment to anybody who may even be going through this, because this is obviously something difficult.
So how come you didn't say nothing when he didn't see his daughter for 9 months during the divorce proceedings?
Okay,
he didn't make this outrage 9 months, or when he went to the Rick Ross concert or backyard.
All right, I'll answer that. Depending on what's going on in life, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. There was a time where it was very tumultuous, okay, very, very dangerous. And the best thing for him at that time was to stay away. He missed his daughter dearly during that time, but a man has to do what he has to do.
So you saw
how bad it was online.
Him not going to her school with graduations, that was very
so you'd have to understand how a person would have to be.
No, it sounds like excuses to me.
So I listened to you talk. I guess we're not going to trade. Okay, well, I'll let you down. Joe, come back in.
How you doing, man?
Man, good, man. You was dropping some real game.
Yeah, man. I gotta learn when I get on here to put my phone on D&D, because what happens is when you get a phone call, it'll automatically just disrupt the feed, and then my audio comes out. But
Gotcha.
I was just basically speaking on like equanimity. Like, I don't have any experience with like having my own children and having to go through this, but just from knowing people and having people in the family that have had to deal with people being spiteful or viceful with, the children that they share with other people. just from the outside looking in, it's like what I learned is like people kind of gotta you gotta kind of set aside what it is that like what you want and what you desire in regards to like how you feel about something, and put the best interest of the child first, because what happens is, like I said before, people allow how they feel in that moment to disturb what logically should be done. And I see this happening not just with like people with children. This happens on a regular with people that like, in regular situations, in people's relationships. You feel some type of way about something, the other person doesn't basically share that sentiment, and you go and you do something because you like, because you feel, but just based off the sole foundation of the emotion that you feel. And it's just really just developing emotional maturity, being able to think through difficult situations even when it's emotional, kind of like, similar to like kind of like when people get upset, for example, the person that was just on here, no disrespect to them, it seems as though their emotions were very high about the situation. And
Absolutely.
because their emotions are very high, they're not allowing you to express your thoughts, even though you gave them the platform to speak their mind.
Right.
And so that happens sometimes, even when I'm in
Mhm.
dialogue with people, and if I might feel a way about it even more so than them, and then now I have to catch myself on cutting them off, because that's just how emotion works. It's the energy in
Mhm.
motion, and you have to navigate that, being the soul inside of the body. But it really just boils down to that, man. Just developing equanimity, developing a strong core of basically principles that you go by, regardless of what emotion you feel. Nature will show you that your energy will go through changes based off climate and the time
Absolutely right.
that we live in. So it's just being able to navigate yourself when these changes occur. I feel like that's the lesson to be learned in this situation or any other situations.
You're absolutely right, man. As you drop down, I was just saying that when you're emotional, you choose the moment, and choosing the moment is devastating for your future person, right? So
Hmm.
you should be living life for your future self, making the best decisions for your future self, and acting out of emotion in the moment can be the worst thing you could ever do. People lose their jobs, everything they've been working for in an instant due
Hmm.
to acting out on an emotion, right? I call that truly being possessed, right? Allowing your
Hmm.
emotions to take control of you is you're under possession. And once that demon leaves or that spirit goes, you have to pay the price for what it did when you didn't control it, right?
Right.
So like the key to manifestation is focus on what expands. What you focus on expands, what you ignore goes away. So if you're really trying to build harmony, it's going to be a lot of other things to focus on. There's going to be some things that make you mad. Sometimes that person may say some things to make you mad, do things to make you mad. If you focus on them and bring light to them, confront them, they grow. If you ignore them and just focus on seeing my child, long as I'm doing that, I'm good. Hey, listen, you'll have what you manifest. You understand what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
you gotta know how to separate everything from what it is that you don't want and only focus on what you do. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, um, all this stuff sounds easy, but when you're dealing with a person who absolutely doesn't want to work with you, the worst case scenario, you do have to go through the courts. It's going to cost you, and that just sucks. It really does suck, and that's why I just say, a wise man said to me the other day, "Where you plant your seed could destroy your life as a man." Okay, my brother said that to me. You understand? And this is coming from somebody who's experienced difficulty in his life parenting. You understand what I'm saying? Where you plant your seed can ultimately destroy a man's life. So, and I said, and it's crazy how many men plant their seeds without even thinking about it, where they plant it, setting themselves up for, a horrible, destructive life. Because if you don't know a person and how they work with you in co-parenting, that could mean a totally different life for your child, man. Be smart. Be smart with your penis, man. We was taught to kind of get out here and just run crazy, hit as many as we can, but that's horrible advice, man. You end up in a
Yeah,
world.
man. Especially when you're dealing with lineage, like you gotta be able to, like, this is why like meditation and breathing exercises really help, because you know what I'm saying, like you have to be able to process like logical thinking in stressful moments. Otherwise, it's like you said, you end up becoming possessed. Even when you have an intense state of emotion, it causes your blood pressure to rise, your heart get to beating faster. It literally makes you less intelligent.
It does.
Your blood vessels constrict, lowering the amount of oxygen that would be traveling, otherwise traveling to your brain, giving you energy to think and process. And so this is what people are experiencing when they basically are overflown with just this rush of emotion. So meditation and stuff like that, stretching and stuff like that will help to mitigate your emotions when you feel them on a high. But unless people practice these type of things, it's like we'll continue to go through the cycles of people feeling some type of way and then acting out of that emotion. And then once that possession, as you put it, leaves and they're back to themselves again, then now they gotta think and sit and think with the things that they've done. I liken it to I don't know what book I was reading, but it was like they compared people's temperature or their the emotion that they hold or their state of being with like water being boiled. You can't see your reflection in water that is boiling, but once that boiling or that temperature lowers, you can see your reflection again. So
Hmm.
when people get upset, it's like when that temperature rises, it's like in order for you to actually see who you are, for your true self, you have to allow that temperature to kind of settle down and breathe, because it's literally how you control the energy and motion. Like you literally have to
Absolutely.
get in tune with that. It's easier said than done, but it
Hmm.
takes discipline and dedication. So
Right. It's a practice. It's a daily practice, man. And life is constantly happening. It's a pop quiz. It don't warn you when something's going to happen. So you got to get to work and make sure that you developing yourself, because it's hard to prepare for what's next. Again, there's no warnings. So you got to be working on all of that type stuff, man. And when you're going through situations like that, they develop you. They should develop you. They should give you perspective. And ultimately, you should learn from experience and just navigate the best way possible, especially when you know how somebody gonna react. But I was gonna say I'm gonna let some other people speak too. Thank you very much, Joe Will, man. You dropping some bombs on here, bro. You got to come up the next time you see me up here.
hey, anytime I see you up here, man, I chopped it up with you probably I think about last year sometime.
Yes, sir.
I think the title was Kevin Wesley thinks he's God or something
Yes,
about
sir.
something like that. And it's like, okay, this is my type of topic. We finna go in.
That's a
But
bet.
yeah, that was a great build. But anytime I see you on here, man, I definitely try to come up here, and I appreciate the platform. I appreciate the getting people's opinions on topics, because ultimately I feel like this is what helps people to grow,
Yes,
getting
sir.
multiple different perspectives. So shout out to
That's a
you.
bet. Yes, sir. Peace King.
Peace.
Yeah, what he was saying, welcome in, Lisa Smith. What he was saying was so profound because body and soul. He was saying you got to learn how to take control of your body too. Sometimes meditation, intentionally stretching. Some men go work out, hit a heavy bag, anything they can to help those emotions kind of cycle through them, find an outlet to where they're not reacting based on their emotions. So wise words spoken by the young king. Welcome in, Lisa.
How you doing?
I'm
How you
doing
doing?
great. I'm
You
doing
know,
great.
I've
How
been
you?
in this saga from the gate.
Say it again.
I said, you know, I've been in this saga from the gate.
Yes, ma'am. You sure have.
This is, you know, I always spoke pleasantly, respectfully for all of y'all, because I just feel like as siblings, you're supposed to protect one another. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm an older sibling, and I'm a girl. I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what it is to be the head honcho and to speak, you know, because you want to express and you want to tell them right for wrong. You won't just go just because they're your sister or your brother. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. No, you have to be transparent, honest, and you got to let them know what it is.
That's
Now,
a fact.
the thing that I would say um, with this whole thing, lives were changed. And as a DV survivor, I only got in the saga because of that. And the reason why is that this young lady came to the internet and said these things, right? In the beginning, of course, as other women, we naturally gonna jump on a woman's side. But when I started to dissect and look at little things, I'm like, wait, something ain't right here, right? So of course she got the attention. She got the attention for everybody because they say, oh man, this is another sister going through that. Oh, I've been like that. So I've seen how it looked, right? Then she's with her husband 6 years. This is a man she met. I believe, they met too soon. They didn't get a chance to know each other. Okay, trauma bonding and all of that. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say as a man, he did step into something with 3 other beautiful human beings, and he stood in that. You know what I'm saying? Good, bad, and ugly, and different. He did that.
Mm-hmm.
But he still, as a mother of 4 boys, lost 2 sons, I would say that you don't play with DV, because that could have turned another way based on lying. You came to the internet to lie. For what? What was the basis? I feel like right now she needs to just listen, Robert, I'm wrong. I did this. And that's the only way she's going to move beyond this, because you saying sorry to everybody else. You're saying sorry to a real abuser, but you're not saying to the husband that was in your life at that time. And that's the person that you owe the most. But like I said, she's never going to do that, because deep down, she's a narcissist. And narcissists, that's how they articulate. That's how they operate. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody else's fault. It's everybody else's fault. No, you have to take some accountability too, in a sense. And we all have to do that. But when you got people jumping on board and say, oh, yeah, she's beautiful, she's this and that. Listen, I'm from NYC. There's beautiful women, all works of life, BBL, no BL, whatever. It's beautiful. But if you are real supporter, you need to tell the truth. Tell her the right things. When y'all saying she's beauty, when y'all saying all of these things, y'all not really helping her at all. You're not helping her. And then I'm gonna be honest, she has some beautiful women that would come on her thing and support her and say good things. She didn't want to hear that. She would block them because she didn't want to hear good things. And I'm an OG. I'm not going to tell you what you need to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to keep it moving. It's either you take it or you don't leave it. Now, we don't know Robert. We don't know her. But learning and looking and dissecting, and I would say, Robert done met somebody, but before that happened, she was already still married. You still was married, and you was out here with another man. You did all of that to your man. And then your married husband, you still did those things and got into a relationship just like that and disrespected him, put his nudies out here. You did all of these things. So I just want to know how another woman can say, oh, that's okay. How would you feel if you were a man for 13 years and they put your nudies out? How would you feel? But see, a lot of them are not healed, and their behavior will continue as long as she's on the internet. And I'm not just talking about Brianna. There's a lot of women like her that will sit here and condone behavior. Now, what I would say with Robert, this girl is really a narcissist, right? So there's boundaries and there's a way you got to go around. I just felt maybe it would have been too soon for you to show your lady. Maybe it's been too soon to show your lady with your child. Because as women, we're going to look at him like, look what he's doing. In spite of the things that she already displayed, but you got to navigate differently when you're dealing with people like that. That's straight up, because I was with one for 13 years. Thank God, 4 years therapy and counseling, and thank you, Jesus, that I will never have to ever be involved with somebody like that, ever.
And it's right, even though you're right, they did it first. They didn't do it right when they put the baby all in your face. You still gotta find a way to drop it. All those things that you named that had happened in the past that she's done. If you're gonna co-parent effectively, you gotta let it go. As crazy as it is, you gotta let it go.
Right, exactly. And I'm not going to take up no time, because I'm 10 toes down with latruth. I will always be. But if you're right, you're right. You're wrong, you're wrong. And I wouldn't say he's wrong. I'm just saying you got to navigate a little differently, because this person here, she's not going to stop. She's not going to stop because she's a traumatized child that's in a grown woman's body, and she's never got help. until she get help. If she don't get help, this will continue. And that's all I needed to say. Blessings to you and that beautiful baby of yours. Because I have special needs kids. So, that's a little extra for me. I got a little chair and I see his movement, his progress. And you're a good dad. And your beautiful wives too. That's all I'm going to say. Much
Thank you so
love
much,
to you.
Nisa.
Blessings and peace. All right. Later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Welcome in, Joy.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. And Kia's back in here too. I'm gonna bring Kia up too.
Okay, she can go ahead. I know that she was having trouble.
Still maybe. So as it allows me, I'll bring her in. If you want to, you can go ahead and go. Well, hang on. Let's see. She's here now. Let's see.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Kia? Kia, can you hear me? Kia has a mic muted. I guess until she unmutes her mic. If you want to, you can go ahead.
Here.
How you doing?
I'm here.
Okay. Hey, Kia, how you doing?
I'm good. I want to go back to one of the callers when she was talking about he wasn't there for 9 months. And I just want to kind of talk about that for just a second.
Okay.
Think about it realistically. He wasn't there for 9 months, according to what the caller said. Do we want him to continue for another 9 months? Or do we want him to do the right thing and be in child's life? We can't have it both ways. I think he did the right thing. I'd rather for her to have her father in her life than not to. So that's that. Also, looking back and forth at both of their pages, I'm not a fan of neither, but I watch both.
Mm-hmm.
They both have a lot of hurt, is what I see. And I feel like they both need individual counseling, and then they need family counseling so they can get over this. That daughter sees when both of her parents are hurting. She knows. She's big enough to know what's going to end up happening if they're not careful. They're going to create a lot of anxiety for that baby and possibly even depression. She's going to be pulled like a struggle. Do I go with my mom? Can I be who I am with her? Can I be who I am with my dad? And she's going to have to feel that she has to pick a side.
Mm-hmm.
That child shouldn't be put in that position. My advice on a social worker as well is to probably get a GAL if they don't have one, which is a guardian ad litem. Someone who has the best interest of not neither adult but the child. And maybe even that guardian ad litem can appoint through the courts that is, mandatory that they both get individual counseling and then family counseling so that they can be a healthier set of people who can, co-parent effectively so that this child can have a great outcome in her life. This is not good for no person in it. Nobody's winning but the devil himself. So I just think, that's my little spiel on it.
Very powerful points. Very powerful points. Your first, do they want it to be 9 more months? And I said this earlier. Lacey and I was talking about, co-parenting before I even went live, and we were talking about how sometimes the mother can be absolutely right in trying to keep the man from the child. Say the man's gone for 3 years, and all of a sudden here he comes showing up. Of course, the mother would feel like, I don't want you, just a bunch of broken promises. But even in the event of that, that is still his father. You still can't stand between that. And pushing that man away would be being a gatekeeper. And so there could be right reasons that you have strong emotions to keep your child from somebody. There could be wrong reasons. Either way, you're affecting your child when you do this. And this is why it's co-parenting is so difficult. So I loved your response to that. What you wanted to be 9 more. It's like they try to raise these little points to try to invalidate or disqualify my brother from being a father or having rights to his child by trying to use this so-called pass of 9 months. But it's just like you said, you guys are saying that you don't want him to be around his daughter now, but you're complaining about when you're it's like you can't please him. You know what I mean?
And it's good to put somebody in the middle who aren't, in their feelings. So someone who's been hired, who area of expertise this is, to see that these emotions are high. The internet, I feel, makes them 10 times higher. I wish they both can just stay off the internet as it relates to this until they could properly heal. She jumped in a relationship. He jumped in a relationship. They still both need time to heal. And I pray that this is over soon because, again, if anyone is being affected the most is a child. She's going to start seeing like her mom say things or feel away or they're not communicating healthy, and she's gonna become unhealthy. So again, the child lose on both ends. You know, she sees this, and it just saddens my heart to see this beautiful kid that's pulled between two. I think both Bree and Robert are smart people. Right now, they're just so emotional and making piss poor decisions. I just don't think they're able to make them on their own. Hence, why they need help. They need professional help. The internet is not, where it's needed. I've seen cases go from just like theirs are, and it may take some time depending on how much trauma is there. But with the right help, they could become some of the most healthiest parents for this child in the world. I've seen it myself. It can be done.
I definitely agree. I do say in the greater scheme of things, each person has their rights. Posting it online, just like you said, these things can create, negative emotions and cause negative impacts. And it's not just about if the parents are ready to move on. The children have to be ready too, and you don't want to be kind of forcing them to get acquainted with some person before they are ready. And even if they pretend to be, they don't know. And before you know it, you're seeing the after effects of doing this. And because you believe a relationship may work out doesn't mean it will. If that relationship dissolves, now that's another person that's came in and out of your child's life. It's very difficult because you do want your children to have that around them in the same home. And I always say this about Brianna. She wants a family life, a family dynamic. She's always wanted that. And I think she wants it to be sort of like fantasy where all the children are the fathers, or she wants you to, pretend that. She wants that to seem that way. So she's quick to rush into that. I think we all can look at it and say she probably prefer to be in a relationship than to be single, which tells me she prefers a family dynamic. And it's difficult when, you're no longer with the parent of the children, and you have to acclimate children into that. It becomes very difficult because you got to consider, how they're going to respond and adapt to that, because it's just not easy. A mother and a father is the holiest relationship we'll ever have. You cannot replace the person. Whoever you have that child with, that's who your child mother or father is, and you got to work with them. And someone even spoke about it and said she's a narcissist. Guys, it doesn't matter. Narcissists have rights to their children too. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You're not going to have a right to punish anybody because of some character trait that you want to pin on them. If that's the mother of your child, that's who you got to deal with. If that's the father of your child, that's the father of your child. We get to calling people names, and it makes it easier for us to disqualify them normal rights. And it's just, narcissists are not. That's her children. She has a right to them. Narcissists are not. If you think he has a right to his children. You just can't do that. You can't do that.
Right. And there's parents that have mental illnesses. I mean, your serious mental illness, which is what we call SMIs, bipolar, schizophrenia. We don't want to make those parents feel like, oh, I can't have my child because I'm suffering from a mental illness. And that mental illness could possibly be from their childhood trauma. So it's not right to take people's children away because they're suffering with something, So I'm not going to call Bree or Robert, out their names or insult them. That's not what I'm here for. But also thinking about, some of the things that she may be challenged with. If I'm not mistaken, I think I seen a video where she was saying her mom is not alive. That could be a lot of weight on a woman, because we look to our parents or our mothers as women for help. That missing piece is there. Who is she going to for guidance? Is that a good person? Is that a bad person? So, if you can have a leader, you can even have a spiritual leader. But if you got the wrong leader, it just in more trouble than what you thought. So it's important to have positive people in her life right now and in his life. So all the negative stuff, they both need to get counseling individually because they both have been hurt from the record that they've shown with their relationships. They've now hurt each other in some shape, form, or fashion. But it's not too late to get together. Do it separately because you need it for yourself. And then do it together because you need it for your families. And then later on, maybe 6 months later, this would be a whole different type of topic. But we're watching them maybe even co-parent with what's his name, John Nell, and maybe his new person. Maybe this could be a blended family the way it needs to be versus everybody tearing, I'm team Bree, I'm team Robert. What about team that baby? I don't see nobody saying I'm team her because that's who it's about for me. Because
I'm
if
with
we
you.
keep it
I want to
going,
see
if we
her
keep it
for
going, we're
children.
gonna create another hurt adult. That's what we're doing right now. We're creating at a young age. She's growing every year. We're creating another hurt adult. I wish people would just focused and be realistic with themselves. What would we really do in these moments? I see some of these comments that's so far-fetched, like, you wouldn't do that if you were in this situation, So I think people need to pray for this couple more, or these parents more, and put positive things, uplift them, encourage them, motivate them. Drop some resources in the comments. If you know somebody, drop some good resources, drop some pastors, drop some good things in these people comments, and feed them positive things so they can have something to lead with. But that's my time. It was great speaking with you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, she had some powerful things to say. I think I'll let I think it's Joy now. Joy, if you want to go ahead and rap with me. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, that's good. I think what was her name? Kaya. She has some
Mm-hmm.
great points. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing I wanted to add to this conversation that I have not heard across any platform, we all keep giving recommendations on how they should move this way, that way, or what have you. But what we fail to realize that there has to be a one team. There has to be a one team to be peaceful. There has, and we can see that there may not be a wanting on a certain person's from a certain person's perspective.
Yeah.
uh and that can be seen through clips. You don't have to know a person personally,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to make a just uh hypothesis or what
Mm-hmm.
have you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, peace comes to those that are peaceful. I used to be Brianna, so I know, I can tell each step that she makes how she's going to move, because she's moving from a hurt place. You can see it. There's no doubt about it. We all keep, well, I'm not going to say we all, but you can tell from the women that support her that all of them seem pretty angry. I don't know why, or what have you. But peace come to those that are peaceful. When I was kicking up
True.
dust, that is all that returned to me, was kicking up dust. As soon as I made the conscious decision to be peaceful, that's when I started receiving peace.
Absolutely.
So I suggest, ladies, please be ladylike. Try to be as calm as possible, because calm waters calm things down. Seriously. Things are going to come where you're going to get angry. I challenge women, when you are feeling that those rumblings in your body, to get quiet, to get real still and real quiet, and you'll see how the tides will turn. So I just challenge women. I challenge Miss Brianna that. I challenge all these women in the chat that, calm yourselves. It'll be much better. That's all I
Powerful.
had to give.
Powerful. And listen, I'd say this too. When someone adheres to religion, it should be more, this should be a little bit easier. Should make a practice of it. Go get in your prayer closet. This will allow you to have time to think and consider your next move and process the emotions that you're feeling. Because you really want every decision that you make to be a productive one that does not tear down your future or hurt your children. So you're going to feel emotions. They're going to be present. You're going to be angry, sad, miserable. Every emotion you're going to have. We just a thunderstorm of emotions. They're always passing through us. If you allow your emotions to dictate your every move, you're going to have some hell to pay. I can only promise you that. And
Yes.
you're always going to be right, because it's your emotions. So if you're angry and you're acting out of anger, of course you're right, even when you're wrong. You know what I mean? But there's always going to be negative consequences. So she's absolutely right.
For sure. And you know, not to take up too much more time, Mr. Wesley, I want to tell a story from when I was 16 years old. I was pregnant at 16 years old. I told you I was Brianna. Pregnant at 16 years old. I think I was I'm getting emotional because it's all bumbling, rumbling in me to tell this story. So I apologize if I have any rumblings in my voice. But anyways,
it's okay.
I was about 7 months pregnant, and the guy that I was with was so done with the relationship because I was a terror. Do you hear me? I mean, just a straight mess. So we, it was so bad that in order to leave the relationship, he had to get his parents to do it. And I say this to say that to move on. When we separated, I went to, another place. He, stayed with his parents. I was still kicking up dust. Kicked up so much dust, I found myself in the hospital with a baby that no longer had a heartbeat any longer. So the stress that I was causing went to my stomach and affected my child to where my child was no longer. So that from that moment, that's when I said, hey, you got to calm down. You got to calm down. So, ladies, I'm telling you, Miss Brianna, hey, stress is the worst thing that you could ever deal with. And it's best to deal with the things that is causing you those moments, to deal with them in a level-headed space. In a level-headed space. I feel sorry for the girl. I really do. I feel sorry for Mr. Hampton as well, because he's dealing with the effects of a woman that is that way. It takes a very loving man to deal with a woman that don't have it all.
Absolutely.
I tell women that all the time. I still get a little off my kilter. But the man that I chose is a man that say, hey, I'm gonna let you have your moment. When you come back, we're gonna deal with it, So not everybody is that lucky to, have a man that knows how to deal with women that, can go off the bat at any time, so. But I can get long-winded. I've already said my spiel. I know you have somebody else up here. I thank you for letting me vent to you, for the little second here. And
I
again,
definitely appreciate it.
again, ladies, be calm. Be calm, ladies. That is the most prettiest thing that we have, is to be ladylike, y'all. If we just, I'm telling you, you don't even have to be a baddie, as what they call it out here in these streets.
She ain't lying.
Because I'm not. I'm an average woman, honey. But I have kept a man for 27 years because I am ladylike.
I love that. Listen, I always tell women, your meekness is not a weakness.
Oh no, it's a beautiful thing.
It's your superpower.
It is. And I mean, I'm submissive to all men. My man, your man, and whoever else man around me.
That man will give you anything you want if you're sweet about it.
Oh yeah, any man will give you anything.
You can't make him do nothing though. You can't make him do nothing.
No. I can get my neighbors across the street to take out my trash, cut my grass, and all. And I got a husband in here, right. but I'm sweet.
Right.
I'm sweet to all men. I'm sweet to women too, but I'm partial to men.
Right, absolutely.
All right, ladies. Goodbye. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
All right,
Listen,
enjoy.
listen. She is not lying. Before Redbone go, listen. I always tell women, men are like racehorses. You are the jockey, right? The jockey is a really small person, and he has to ride this big, strong horse. And the horse is like the man. So if you're the jockey, you got to remain light. That means don't weigh him down. Don't say a lot of things that get on his mind or destroy his ego. Don't break him down. And if you want your horse to win the race, you got to feed him. You got to stroke him. You got to make him feel good. Happy horses run fastest. You can't grab this horse up and pull him nowhere. He's stronger than you. You have to make this horse want to run for you. You got to inspire this horse to want to win for you. How do you do that? You got to be sweet. If you're beating your horse up, he's going to have a limp come Sunday, right? So when it comes time to race him, he beat up now. If you're mad at him and you don't pour into him because you're mad at him, now he's hungry. You can't. You still got to pour into him even when you're mad at him. You still got to talk to him nicely even though you're mad at him because you want him to ultimately win the race for you, right? He's not going to always be the best performer. He ain't going to do everything right. But you go out there and start being mean to your horse if you want to, okay? They're not going to want to run for you. This is how you understand how to work with a man. You can't make him do nothing. He's stronger than you. But your sweetness, your kindness, you being pleasant to him. Man, this man will run as fast as he can for you. Trust me. What's up with your red bone? Welcome in.
What's going on, brother?
Chilling.
You know,
What's up with you?
Listen, us as women and goddesses, we have to realize we're like the weather. It's unpredictable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it's a storm, you take out that umbrella and put on your boots. You have to dress for the occasion, right? And see, like you and your brother, y'all have a lot of power. So it shows that you was raised and molded by a strong family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And us as women, we respect that because if we can see you guys' power. So it's gonna be a respectful thing. So you can stay in a goddess's place. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna protect and do what a God's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we got to stop and realize, like, when we making contents and stuff, when you affecting their mother, you're affecting the children. So if the mother gonna be thrown off, the children sure gonna be damaged and thrown off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when you wanna come at somebody, come at them with encouraging them, like giving them points, like, you know what I'm saying, great advice, because we got children involved. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're absolutely right.
And
so far, that haven't been the advice that's been given.
Right.
It's been horrible advice that would destroy the children's future, and it's crazy because none of these people live in the home. They're not actually truly invested in the betterment of the children. They don't have their best interests at heart, but they're offering all these things that they think someone should do, and they don't lead to any type of harmony. It's sad.
Yes.
I really hope she doesn't listen to these people, or that she discontinues, whatever the case may be, because it's for the child. All those are the wrong moves that they're suggesting that she do.
Mm-hmm. Because you gotta realize this. Like, our children is our future. Tomorrow we're gonna be older, right? And they gonna take the lead and be able to direct things. Cause we sitting back with our on the throne, you know what I'm saying? So the younger generation gonna take the space of us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I always say they are future selves, and the world that we create is the one that they got to live in. You know, when we grew up, we saw things play out. We was upset at our parents for certain things. Some of us upset at our fathers for not being there as much. Some of us upset at our mothers for whatever reason. But then when you start to get older through life's experiences, you start to understand kind of what was happening and why your life shaped out to be what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that once you were a child and you understand what it's like to grow up in an adverse situation, a difficult situation, as an adult, you should say, you know what, let me not create that for my child.
That's
you
right.
know, because you didn't have any control as a child. You know, if your parents don't care, if your parents don't know enough, you can't study for them. If they don't care, you can't make them care. If they need therapy and won't go get it, you can't make them. You're kind of just there. But when you're an adult, you do have a choice. And when you having your own child, you have a choice to raise your child the way you see fit, the way you think is best. Take advantage of that, man. And the first goal. Listen, you got to be lucky to get that right on the first try in the world we live in today. So you're really going to have to be prepared for if you're wrong, how are we going to co-parent? So that means you really got to be choosing somebody who at least is going to be responsible for their child if you don't work it out. I mean, you got to do that, right?
Right.
But then you got to understand that, you know, once you get with that person, whatever their character is, it is what it is. You can't change it. And if that ends up being the person you got to co-parent with, that's who you got to co-parent with, man. And you got to figure out a way to deal with it. You know, but what happens is when we act like we don't want to do that and we try to take control of the situation and either keep a person from their child or stop going and seeing our children, that's terrible because that's another child growing up in a situation just like many of us grew up in, and we're repeating the same cycle, you know, not even knowing that we're doing it. And before you know it, you look in the mirror and you're your mother or daddy, the very person that you didn't like.
And see, that's where it comes with, let me stop and stay still. And I'm going to break this generational curse with me. I'm going to go get therapy and talk to somebody that's knowing in that direction, because I want my kids to be different children. I want my children to think differently. I want my children to grow up in a healthier environment than what I had.
Right.
And that's out of love, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's about.
And that's the greatest work. You're right. That's the greatest work, because sometimes you got to do that against how you feel. You can be very angry and still have to be nice. You can be upset and not want to have nothing to do with that person right now, but you still have to do it. You got to go against all those emotions so you can give your children a great life. It's very important, man. It's everything to you, and we're just not getting it.
But let me tell you,
I'm losing our children in the heat of the moments.
I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about me, right? I'm in a wheelchair, okay? So you can see my physical hurt, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And mental, you can't see that. Emotional, you can't see that, right? So the doctor said, oh, you'll never walk again. Oh, you won't do this. You won't do that. And you know what my mom told me?
What's that?
You stop. Because what your mind think is what your body gonna do. So if you believe you're not gonna walk again, you're not. If you believe what that man just said, that's what's gonna be the outcome of your life. So I said, I'm not believing that, because I got too much to do. I got kids and stuff to raise. Guess what? I kept on working in my mind. I didn't see my legs move. She said, keep moving them in your mind, and eventually your body gonna follow. So I kept moving my legs in my mind. I kept doing it, kept doing. It didn't do it in a day. It didn't do it in a week. It took years, but I did that and worked at that every day. And guess what? Now I can get up and I can walk with crutches. And each day I get farther and farther and farther.
That's amazing.
But I had to work at it. I didn't get what I wanted right then. But me working at it made it happen.
That's powerful. I always say that doing is praying. The actual act of getting out there and doing it is what gets you what you want from the universe. And so and keeping that in your mind, in your mind's eye, and continuing on is why you're walking today. It's exactly why you're making the progress. That's powerful.
Yes, and it's just like you with your baby in that swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
You did it, and I was like, yes.
Yes.
Keep pouring into him. Keep pouring into him. Keep pouring into him, because he's gonna be a powerful man one day.
Yes, ma'am.
Because each one of us on this universe for a purpose. All of us not gonna have everything.
Absolutely.
At the beginning. Well, the more you pour in and the more you strengthen him and don't allow nobody else to dictate who you are, what you are, and labeling.
You're absolutely right. Very, very powerful.
Protect, y'all. Protect your kids. Protect your kids from stuff like this that we wasn't protected from.
Absolutely.
Because what you tell him is what he gonna believe, because you are his father, the protector.
Absolutely.
And outside world, they can live however they want to. Is in your home is your world.
That's a fact.
So when you go out and open that door, you gotta protect yourself, because you're hunted not even by the police or whatever. You're hunted by individuals, negativity, the enemy, everybody. You got them coming different direction, but you protect.
You're absolutely right.
And I'm gonna leave from then.
Well, listen, you dropped the mic. Trust me, that was powerful.
For real, because I'm gonna leave this. A baby, one of my little cousins, was 3 years old, and I had to drive his mom to court because his dad and mom was fighting custody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin, which was the woman, said, well, I'll give you 6 months, and I take them 6 months, and then we can do it like that, and we can, Christmas rotate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she was trying to work with him. She was trying to give him more. You know what I'm saying? Because she respected, that's your son. I understand that. But we can come to some kind of common ground, right? So I said, I pulled the baby to the side. And I said, so how do you feel that your mom and dad is in the courtroom trying to fight over you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what that baby told me? He said, I don't like it because my dad pulling me one way and my mom pulling me another way. I think they're going to tear me apart. So when that baby said that, I pulled both of them aside and I told them, I said, let me tell y'all something. While y'all too busy doing whatever y'all doing, whatever y'all got going on, fighting with each other or whatever, did anybody take the time out to ask the child how did they feel about it? I said, I asked him. Mm-hmm. And he told me that he feel like y'all finna tear him apart. So y'all need to stop this mess for real, right now. Mm-hmm. If y'all want to create a healthy environment and a healthy child, y'all got to put y'all feelings aside from each other and put your child feelings first and make a decision. Because when you making decisions out of emotions, man, you're going to make sometimes the wrong decision.
Most of the time.
But when you get out of your emotions and make decisions, that's what's best for everybody, a unit.
You're right.
So think about the kids first, y'all, before y'all do anything and you like moves. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
And I love y'all.
Thank you. Love you too. And thank you so much for your words too.
Yes.
Lizzo, you right on. I don't know why I'm tired. But welcome in.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you for
welcome in, Yashira Haya.
Yashiria, but I just go with Sakina.
Okay.
I kept that part, but
I tried. I definitely tried to pull that off. Though.
No, don't worry about it. I just go with Sakina Ra. I don't do use the Yashiri.
Sakina Ra. Okay, it's a powerful name.
Thank you.
All of the syllables in there. And those are some powerful. That's a powerful name. But welcome, and I'd love to hear your take on it. What's your thoughts, love?
Well, the thing for me is that I used to watch latruth and his wife, and so I want to rock with this because the whole thing began on.
Hang on 1 second. You might be breaking up. Are y'all hearing her broken up? Your screen kind of froze up too. Soon as it was about time for you to speak, it was good for a second.
Okay, am I still breaking up or no? Let me.
Yeah, and you're still frozen as well.
Okay, let me. Do I need to leave out and come back? Because I'm way. Okay, I see you froze up. Is it me or you or me? Let me see. Hold on.
Okay, so I think it's Kevin. I think it's my end. Okay, so if you guys can hear me, we're gonna continue back. It kicked me out too. I don't know what that was. I can't see you and hear you.
No? Want me to leave and come back?
No, I can see you and hear you now. You're good.
Okay. So what I wanted to say was because they started this whole thing on social media, I feel like that's where it went bad because like most things, it was a whole thing they had to keep going on in social media. The whole thing blew up on social media. So they had a whole image they had to keep going and portraying on social media. So it was some things that when we deal with tolerance, some things that either he had to put up the tolerance with and she had to even put up tolerance with, maybe that they didn't have to tolerate in front of social media, right? Because some things that you don't tolerate, you wouldn't have did. Y'all would have been able to handle that off screen. They dealt with it until our egos and our pride and that embarrassment and all of those things. And so when that got it all exploded. And when it all exploded, now we got pride and we got ego and that hurt. And it got too far. And so they've been together for a long time. And now we don't know how to be by ourselves. You see what I'm saying? And when you don't know how to be by yourself, now you so hurt and nobody knows how to be alone. And so they don't what we were raised, or some of us know how to get over somebody is to get with somebody. And they don't know how to deal with being by themselves to be able to heal from that. You see what I'm saying? So they taking that baggage, your emotional damage, that emotional terrorizer, right? And so they taking all this hurt and they haven't even taken time to heal. You see what I'm saying? And the baby is caught up in the middle. So I get where we can have the grandma or that guardian to help the child. But now you asking this child to choose between the two, even with that guardian, because that baby needs the counsel too. You see what I'm saying? So again, that separation between them two was only to be able for them to figure out, him to figure out him, her to figure out her, and the child to even be able to counsel between the two of them. Because that child needs to let that mother know how she feeling about the situation, let the father know how she feeling about the situation, so that she can be able to say how she feel to him and how she feel toward her, because the child has to deal with it either way. To tell the third party in the middle is not going to do no good. She needs to tell her father how she feel. She needs to tell her mother how she feel. Why? Because she's being torn and tossed between the two. You see what I'm saying? And so now that she's being seen with the mother boyfriend, but yet to say, you do the good advice because you are the one that does it. So for him not to expose pictures around the baby and his boyfriend or girlfriend, whether it's on the camera or not, he still do it. She does it publicly or not, she still do it, but the child is still involved. So the conversation still has to be held. You see what I'm saying? So again,
Absolutely.
you are the advisor. You are the counselor. Whether she wants it to be you or not, she still needs to be counseled. Why? Because she's still hurt. Regardless to the reason, I'm the baby daughter. I got older siblings, but I'm still the child. So whether or not somebody said no, or how many times they said no, she still need to be understood. You see what I'm saying? They've been together that long. You see what I'm saying? He was that shoulder. Now she don't have that shoulder, right? He was maybe that shoulder for her, and now he don't have that shoulder. You see what I'm saying? They don't know how to be alone.
Right.
And so now we have this, all of everything was exposed to everybody. So you give that sound advice because you see what I'm saying? That's your practice. You were the professional. That's why I said what I said earlier when I was up and I seen that online. You see what I'm saying? Because you are the professional.
Yes, ma'am.
You give the advice. I get that you're the brother, but you're not trying to be one-sided. You're trying to do what's best. And so if she don't see that, then she has to find her own.
Absolutely. I agree.
You see? And so I didn't see the Tasha K interview, but I saw some of it. Y'all look very nice, man. I say,
Thank you. Thank you.
But you know, this is just like just being fair.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And so I get all of that, but we trying to say what's fair and what's best for the child. So
right,
you know,
I could be saying all the right things and just not be the messenger that's going to be able to get through. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, that's why every person should care about their own situation enough to seek whatever help that would be required to help get them through it. You see what I'm saying? If you are in control of your own mental illness, nobody can tell you that when you're overwhelmed except for you. And so the difficult thing about that is when you got a headache, it tells you, right? When you're sick, you can't breathe good. You know you got to go to the hospital. But when it's your mental health, it's not so alarming. And so you as a person sometimes just got to go get a self-check because most of the time you're gonna think you don't need it. But if you really want to make the decision that's best for your life going forward and have a more harmonic future, get a checkup, especially after going through serious trauma. I found that talking to a professional after certain issues actually really, really does help. It gets you to look at things in a certain perspective because in your mind, you will see it a certain way. And sometimes a certain way you see it causes you to harbor a lot of anxiety and hate. And sometimes the way they can kind of help you to see it can help you release that. And it's really better for you overall. Trust me, man. There's nothing that stands out and tells you got to go see a therapist. Your body will make you go to the hospital. But when it comes to that mental stuff, man, you will think, long as I can get up and keep going. That's my computer jacket. I better go ahead and get off here. It's a thunderstorm. It's probably getting the best of me now.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll be moving back that way. Yay! So I hope to see y'all soon because I'm coming back in May. I left North Carolina and I came to North Dakota, but I'm getting ready to come back. So, yay!
Yeah, that'll be dope, man. Okay, let us know. And thank you so much for what you had to say, too. Again, anybody had something dope to say.
Yes. Word to the wise. I took a beat down, right? I've been getting beat down all week, so don't nobody cuss you out like church folks. So I took a beat down earlier this week, but I took a beat down because somebody threw me in some mess. AKA because, you know, I'm a big Kevin Wesley supporter to You and the Queens and the Baby Prince. And so, you know, whatever they say to them, I'm just letting them know here I am.
Yes,
right. Okay. So love y'all much. Peace to the chat. I'm always here. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Dope, man. Listen, everybody had something dope to say, man. And that's what this situation needs, man. More constructive advice that both people could listen to, even if they can't hear it today. One day they could go back, or other people can go to this live and, you know, kind of look at their own situation and get a better perspective of certain things. You know what I mean? So one teach one, I always say. It takes a village. Every person giving their opinion in a constructive way, you know, to try to help each other out instead of tearing people down. It's easy to tear down family. You know what I mean? So a lot of trolls were in here trying to distract me. I gave them literally no attention. Again, guys, I'm not going to stoop to old girl level. You know that that's what she's about. Just try to say as many things as she thinks that can hurt you to try and, you know, discourage you or control you in some type of way. And it really shows the type of character that she has, type of person that she is. So she has no power over me. I'll just let her talk till she's blue in the face. But thanks to all of you guys who watched and had something constructive to say. I was really wanting Upper to be able to pop up here. I like building with her, hear some of her thoughts on it, but maybe another time. But Debbie, if you put something about my niece in here again, I'm gonna block you. You just been a similar type message. I mean, oh my gosh. It's crazy. Not everyone, Kevin, they've been fighting for a minute in the chat. Yeah, I've been seeing a little bit of it. I've been seeing it. But listen, guys, anyway, thank y'all for stopping in, man. Hopefully my advice to my brother is a little bit more clear. I didn't say it to be fair. It's very unfair. He has a right to how he feels. He has a right to post whatever he wants. It's just if that can create difficulty seeing your child, you got to think about the moves before you make them. And that's just one of the things that everybody has to learn when it comes to co-parenting. Not saying that that's what she was even doing, guys. Okay, so I don't know. You know what I mean? So just speaking hypothetically here, co-parenting is very complex. It's very difficult. Shout out to all of you guys who can successfully do it, okay? But as for me and mine, we're going to stay together because we both agree neither one of us are trying to – Lacey laughing at neither one of us are trying to see nobody raising our best. That's our Samik. Stay the F away from him. Okay, that's our Samik. It ain't happening. No, we would be together. We'd be right here. All right, y'all. We're gonna treat each other right too, so he can see that and mirror that. But this is a great live, very positive. Thank you very much, y'all. Love you guys. And check y'all soon, man. Thank y'all for coming out, man. It was beautiful. Ain't many people have been coming to my lives like that. So yeah, 5 and counting. It was 7 at one point. So thank y'all very much, man. Those of you who are still here, give me that HBO special, which is Help a Brother Out. Hit the like button. I'll see y'all later, man. Peace to y'all.